Okay, okay, phew! It works. I was very worried that when I came in, because it's not showing it on the studio mode, which is very weird. But it is working. Excellent. Oop. We are way too loud. We're gonna blast your eardrums. So let's go both there, I think. Yeah. Hopefully that sounds good. Hopefully I don't sound horrible. Welcome to the RawTism podcast. RTP 666 on the dial. I'm your host, Critical Canadian, and today is March 16th, 2026. My friends, RTP is growing. And you know why I know it's growing? Because we had 5 views on one of our videos. That's how I know it's growing. It's a fucking movement. We already know it. We're already there. Okay, we just need to visualize our fucking dreams. Okay, and that's how it works. Just kidding. That's not how it works. It's not how any of it works. You gotta put in effort, my friends. You gotta put in effort. So much so, Callie's gonna put in so much effort to come and show us some love. She needs some pets. She's like, oh, thanks, Dad. Thanks for feeding me a mid-morning snack. I appreciate that. And I'm like, hey, Callie, no problem. Could you please stop bumping the mic? And she's like, hell no. Hell no, I could never do that. Whew. We're loud this morning. We need the 2 mic setup for me and the wife. Make it a lot better. Because then, you know, we can actually hear her, because this is the issue I'm having now. So we filmed episode 2 last night. We talked about some stuff. We talked about hobbies. We talked about how hard it is to break bad habits and form new ones. And then we learned about snorkeling and how we're both complete idiots and didn't know how fucking snorkeling worked. And we both figured that you could dive under the water with a snorkel. You can. You're just going to suck in fucking water when you go to take a breath. Sounds like common sense, but turns out we're both kind of special. Kind of special in that realm. But we watched a video on it. We talked about the hobbies and stuff like that, and how we are both 2 people that enjoy a goal in a hobby. You know, we don't enjoy, and then we talked about the differentiation between a hobby and activity. And unfortunately, my beautiful co-host isn't with me today, which sucks, but you know, she's with us in spirit, and I know she is. So I'm really hoping the audio isn't like crazy strong, although it's looking It's looking pretty... Oh, I know why it's looking extra gainy today. We put on a filter with some extra gain. We'll drop that down a little bit to a little bit of a 3.2. We'll raise this a little bit. There we go. That's looking... There we go. That's looking in the appropriate... Not even that's still looking a little low. There we go. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testicles. They're stuck on me. Alrighty. Now... For those of you that have never joined us before, you can see our brand new overlay that I have taken the considerable amount of time to put together. Obviously, it just took all of my mental fortitude. I'm just kidding. It took me a couple. Ow! Why are you sitting there if you don't want to be pet? Fucking sitting there and no, get out of here. Freaking cats and they're biting. No. Oh, and then you turn around and you're like, hey, I know I just tried to bite you for loving me, but now you want some love again. Now you realize, oh, you know what? Maybe I do want some love. Okay, well, that's just, you're rude. Okay, you big meanie. Have to come up with a, watch, stop it. I'm trying to, excuse me, madam. I am trying to use that mic to discuss things, and you are pushing it away over and over again. But you know what? Maybe on episode 2, maybe I should explain what my fucking vision is for this, okay? Me and my wife, we love to joke all the time that we have the tisms. Her birth father, did have Asperger's, so there's a very high likelihood, with everything, you know, genetics being what it is, that she is also on the tisms. Because I don't believe autism or Asperger's is seen as a thing. I think it's just all lumped now into autism. Myself, never formally diagnosed, so we're never going to sit here and be like, I for sure 100% can tell you that I have the autism. Because honestly, at the end of the day, even if I was officially diagnosed, it wouldn't change who I am or what I'm going to do in my life. Recently, one of her uncles got diagnosed with ADHD, and you ever have those moments where you're like, you know, everybody else knew but you? That's one of those moments where he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I have fucking ADHD. And it's like, really? Really? And it's like, I'm actually a little shocked you weren't like a little suspect of it originally. So what I like about us is we discuss things in just the way that we're feeling them. It's never usually from a point of malice. It never is usually from a point of judgment, even though it can seem as kind of judgy. It is just from what are we observing? We're going to let you know what we're thinking, and we're going to approach things kind of that way. So, you know, it's very raw, it's very open. And then with the fact that, you know, maybe we're both kind of on the TISM spectrum, we call it the RawTism podcast, and it just flows. Honestly, thinking about it, I should have called it the RawTism, because, you know, raw means I love you and dinosaur. So last night we went to film, and I was messing around with the audio gate, which, you know, I do it from time to time, and unfortunately it just was not working. It was cutting in and out horribly, fucking horribly. So I researched it a little bit, looked in. I'm pretty sure the second half of the episode that we did comes through a lot clearer, but by the time I've changed it, we're like 3/4 into a fucking episode already. So that's going to be lost to time. One day, AI will fix it, and it'll be the only episode left on the internet. So what was it? RTP Nation is growing. Censure dial on the YouTubes. And what I love, my wife is amazing, okay? She is absolutely I described her before as the rock in my life. I actually painted a mural of a lighthouse in honor of them in our kitchen, because she truly is the beacon of shining light in this kind of often sometimes dark landscape of humanity. Sorry, this drawer's not closing properly and it's bugging the shit out of me. So I need to just wrap up this cord before we really get started. And I love that she works with me to build things, but never feels a need, unless it shows, okay? It's certain shows. She's like, no, bitch, you're watching that shit with me, okay? And I'm like, oh shit, goddamn. But she, you know, she'll work on things with me and do stuff, and it's kind of like, no, that's you do what you feel is necessary, and you know, it's like, oh, can I do some of the RawTism stuff without you? And she goes, yep, totally cool. So I'm gonna have to make another opening screen. That's one, you know, one that's boy, it's a little slow and a little choppy. Poor computer's working hard, and she's about to work even harder. Aw, you poor computer. Trying to keep everything flowing, you poor bastard. Time for an upgrade, I think. So today, for sure, gonna be gaming a little bit. Don't know if we'll be watching anything. Don't know if we'll be reviewing anything. 1 hour of silence, occasionally broken by a dog. That's what we need. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, there's this show I wanna watch with the waifu. The Mr. In Between. It looks like a really good TV show. It seems like an Australian kind of hitman thing. And I've watched a bunch of clips. I've gotten a bunch of things through my shorts feeds. That I really kind of want to watch it in the future. Shit. Same with, oh, that was the other thing we discussed on the podcast yesterday, was the idea that, you know, bad habits are hard to break, and part of bad habits being hard to break is what can we do to push ourselves into better habits. One thing that I've recently started doing was I have set a limit on my shorts feed. Now, no longer, after 15 minutes, I get a little notification that says, hey, do you want to continue watching shorts? And I go, no. And that's when I stop. It's usually when I don't watch anymore. It's usually when the day is done. Because if I allow myself, I will watch YouTube shorts for hours, and it's so bad for you. It really is. At the end of the day, it is horrible for you. Not only are you affecting your attention span, because you always will be. It doesn't matter how well what you're watching, even if it's really good content. Like, let's say you're watching like educational after educational after educational after educational, you know, as us doom scrollers or just scrollers do in general, as everybody does. I have met very few people that would say that they don't do that. You're still, your 30-second content, it can't be good. Aw, poor Puppers, he's lost. That's okay, Puppers, you stay. Where we're going, you can't follow. It's dangerous. I'm assuming our iron's out again. My coal is probably out again. Oh, nope, the iron down there is out. Is that the only one that's out? Oh, no, those two are out too. Shit. We're gonna have to start shipping coal. Where are we in relation to the train station? Oh, we're all the way over there. No, we could push stuff all the way over here. Maybe we'll do that in the future here. So yeah, I'm limited the amount of YouTube shorts I've been consuming, which is good. I think everybody should. Now, this is the next thing that I need to get better at, because, you know, part of that, you know, the issues that I have is producing a show. I'm really good. I'll go like 3/4 up to the line, and then I'll stop. Because what ends up happening is, like, put in a bunch of work, get kind of... What? Oh. No, I don't know what he was talking to me. That fucking plays at me. But yes, I do it to the point, and then I kind of get lethargic, and then I just kind of stop. So what I need to start doing is better pushing myself just a little bit more each day to get past the, you know, you like, oh, you do a bunch of work and then you kind of stop. And then it's that last, you know, the 90% is, the 90% is important, but it's usually that last 10% that really makes or breaks a lot of the shit you want to do. And right now for me, it is the last little bit, because it's like, what do I want to come on and talk about? I have things, I should be writing them down. Because if I don't do shit like that, I'm just never going to.
A few days ago, I found out that not everyone has.
Okay, because I'm not going to be able to, you know, produce the show that I want to produce type deal. I need to do more shit that kind of encapsulates that last 10%. But what I have been doing is there have been certain things that I've been, you know, I have a watch later list that, I shit you not, has 496 fucking things on it, because I'll see something and it's like, I'm not right in the mood for it, but I'll watch it for later. I'll watch it later. And the next thing you know, we have a watch later thing that is private to me and only me, because these are my most inner fucking videos. You know, of 498 things. So we got a few. I've been wanting to, this one has come up I think twice now on my feed, even though I've tossed it in the watch later settings, which is a Q&A with a person without an inner monologue, because I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty wild that there are people out there, whoa, that's not good, that it's crazy to me that there's people out in society that don't have inner monologues, and they just go about their day. So I think it'd be kind of cool. It's not very long. It's only 11 minutes. We're gonna listen to this, find out what kind of. Well, I'm curious to see what kind of questions they ask and how they answer it. Honestly,
That's an internal monologue. So what I mean by that is, like, they can't hear their thoughts, which I didn't believe to be true until I asked someone, and they said that if they physically wanted to say something in their head, they'd have to say it out loud. Like,
that's
they couldn't
wild.
do it. They don't have that voice that I thought everyone had. So it blew my mind. And I wrote an article about how it ruined my day, and a bunch of people read it and came at me with all these questions that I'm not capable of answering, because I can't even wrap my head around it. So I decided to do a Q&A with someone that doesn't have this internal monologue. So hopefully she could answer your questions, because
First off, I want to say good for this guy. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to. I've been racking my brain what I wanted to say. I always have, you know, speaking of internal monologues, I have a very strong internal monologue, to the point, Kay, not to toot my own horn, but to the point where I can do different voices in my internal monologue if I so feel like it. I find it commendable that this man, not only did he have a question, he found something out, he had a question, he sought out somebody to discuss the thing that he was curious about. I love that. I want stuff like that in the future. A lot of our stuff is probably going to be recorded because I need to edit stuff out with the waifu, but I would be totally down for having a topic or having somebody interesting that wants to come on and we can ask them questions and we can get into the nitty-gritty, because that is what ultimately I want is, you know, wow, I hear a lot of people, wow, you're being really autistic with all the questions you're asking, or wow, you're really getting into the weeds. And it's like, this needs to be the podcast of the minutia. I want to get into the weeds because I want to be the weed whacker. I want to discuss these things from places where other people might not think to discuss things from them, because it either makes them really uncomfortable or they don't have the fortitude to sit and actually discuss these things at length, that we might do on this channel. And listen, I know that's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. I don't have to be for everybody. But I do have to be for me, and that is something that I enjoy and want to do, continuing to do moving forward. So if you are somebody that feels strongly about a certain topic, or you think you'd be able to be a good guest on this show, you can either let me know in the comments, or I think I have an email attached to this YouTube channel, and I'd love to hear from you. So
I still can't function. Here we go. All right. So I found out a few days ago that not everyone has the ability to speak in their brain. And the first person that I asked if they could do it was her, And turns out she can't. So I asked a bunch of people to ask me questions so I could ask her so she could try to make light of this wild situation. So like if you look, like I could look at myself in the mirror, talk
Right.
in my head without opening my mouth. You physically can't do that.
No.
And what would happen if you tried to do that?
I have tried to do that since learning that an internal monologue exists, and I end up speaking out loud to myself. So
It's crazy.
most of my conversations are out loud.
I feel like this information to the people that can think in their head is a lot more like.
Did you guys catch my commentary? I just did it in my head. If you weren't subscribed to the inside of my head, that's a you problem. But what you can be subscribed to is this channel by hitting that like and subscribe button. And of course, you can see that thing flashing on the screen 400 times. So if you just go ahead and hit it, you can still get more stuff from me. Okay, thank you. Whew. Ace Ventura, great movie. You ever seen it? Go hate yourself.
Exciting news. I've talked to a few people that can't do this, and they seem less enthused as the people that do have this internal monologue.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm very confused as to why people are so perplexed.
All right,
by
so
it.
the probably most requested question was, how do you read? Like, when I read...
Oh, that's a good question.
I hear the words in my head. I don't know how you could possibly read without...
Oh, shit. That wasn't even my first question, but that was a good
when
one.
I read, I can see the sentence structure. Like, in my head, every sentence has a shape, so you can see, like, the shape of the sentence. And then also, like, keywords will pop.
What? The shape of the sentence? There's shapes to sentences now? Oh my god. Yeah, I wish I could just transport myself into this lady's head. That'd be amazing. You can see the shape of the sentence. Let me think about if I can understand what she's trying to say. Like while she's reading, she can see the shape of the sentence, like the sentence coming across. Okay, let's let it chat.
And I can file those away into my like concept map. So at the end of reading something, I can have a concept map of the main topics that I read about.
What?
And I tend to move my lips when I read. So like essentially I'm saying it out loud.
Oh, she's doing it out loud but quietly.
It's just not like audible.
So
what the fuck?
Do you visualize the setting when you're reading a book?
No, it's not like images. It's just the words.
Oh.
So do you like reading like fiction books, like where you have to put yourself in a situation?
I never really enjoyed reading.
At all?
Yeah, they're not surprising.
Why.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I can see the story plot.
Are you a fast reader?
Yes, very fast reader.
We could have a 100-question test.
I would assume she would be a very fast reader, because I would say sometimes the minutia that comes from me for reading a book isn't necessarily the fact that I can't follow along. It's the fact that I'm trying to build a landscape in my brain as I'm reading. So if I'm reading a nonfiction book, especially, and it's like, let's say, just off the top of my head, let's say The Lord of the Rings. It's the one that everybody knows. It's the one that most people could probably visualize. As I'm reading about these characters, I'm trying to build the characters, make the imagery in my head, make it make sense, and I'm doing all these tasks. Like my fucking RAM is at 100% as I'm doing this shit. I would say that is why sometimes I struggle with reading, is because it's almost too much. There's too much going on in my brain, internal monologue, trying to craft this world inside my brain. That's why I actually really like, if you are somebody that struggles with that task, graphic novels are your best fucking friend. Because oftentimes, I find anyways, that the books are drenched in, expletive and descriptive things of that nature, trying to build the landscape for you, which is beautiful. I love it. But with somebody like myself that struggles to build and maintain these worlds as I'm reading this book, and I'm trying to read it and hear it and craft this stuff, I get overwhelmed by it. So if I have the pictures kind of laid out before me, I can better understand what the author is trying to get across. Not to say I don't enjoy the act of reading nonfiction books, because I do. I actually have a couple. There's one detective book that I've read multiple times. I have a couple from Schoolomance is the name of the book. Really good book as well. But it still requires, like, those ones, they just a little bit easier. They're not as tied up in all this stuff. So I really like those kind of books, but I can definitely see her being a quick reader if she's not having to deal with all that extra fucking computing power.
She's done when I'm on question 12. I'm not even kidding. It is superhuman.
That is crazy.
It's not fair. How do you know what you're thinking if there's no words?
Okay, that's a good question. But actually, that, you know, I've often always seen internal monologues as a sort of a gift. Like, yeah, it's a nice thing that I can do this. But now that I think about it, boy, it might actually be something that really slows a person down. That if you were to get rid of the internal monologue, yeah, actually, I probably would be able to read and do things a lot faster. Now, to be said, I don't want to give up my internal monologue. I like it. I like being able to, you know, kind of discuss things inside of my head before getting them out to somebody else. I feel like it would be incredibly stressful, always worried that if I'm going to think something, I'm going to say something out loud. And then part of that is like, you know, you might offend people. Not necessarily something that you always need to care about, but it could be something, depending on what situation you are, could make things very awkward for you. And I wouldn't necessarily fault anybody for being, you know, struggling to get their thoughts out when they have kind of this, we'll call it a disability. It's not a disability though.
Because I can see it.
I think that's why this whole thing is going viral, is because...
Okay, so she's not the internal monologue, but she can probably visualize stuff really well. Like, I wonder if... I'd be curious to ask if you could describe... See, like, picture an apple in your mind and describe it to me. I feel like she'd be able to give you a fucking wicked description of an apple. I feel like she would paint... I feel like she'd be... I'd be curious to see, of, like, the artists and stuff like that, if them having internal monologues made them better artists, or lacking the internal monologue actually made them better artists. Because if you had a really strong visualization core instead of a monologuing part of your brain, I feel like you'd be a really good fucking artist.
People like me can't understand how you get through a day without talking to yourself.
I don't know. I just feel like the information is in there, and I can pull it forward if I wanted. Like, it's all just like, it's like files. There's categories of information in my head, and I can pull them to the front if I need them. But
I feel like I could do that. Like, if I'm studying, I could, like, pull things out. But just, like, if I'm sitting and, like, I have a thought, or someone is, like, walking by and I have a thought about that person, I'm, like, talking to myself about that. Does that not happen to you?
No. If I have a thought, normally I say it out loud.
This guy's just blown away.
I can't do this. Do you daydream often?
No, never.
Hardly really?
Ever. I can't think of a time that I've daydreamed, I don't think.
That's crazy. You don't daydream at all? Man, I fucking daydream all the time. Constantly. There's a really good movie. I think it's The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. And I think it's... Man, I'm almost certain. Hang on, I gotta look it up now. The Secret Life. Yeah, with good old fucking Ben Stiller. Yeah, timid magazine photo manager who lives vicariously through daydreams and embarks on a true life adventure when a negative goes missing. Okay. Yeah, in like that front where he's like always daydreaming and kind of getting away with his daydream and stuff like that, that's constantly. And it's like something unfortunately I cannot turn off. And sometimes is really good, but at other times is really fucking detrimental, especially when you have like if you're somebody who likes to visualize like that, and then you then struggle to actually build things out of those daydreams. Boy, those daydreams end up not becoming so much daydreams as day nightmares. Because you'll be like, why can't I make this thing work? Why can't I get, X idea to flow from my daydream into reality? And that's okay. It's not always going to be, roses and fucking sunshine and shit like that. Sometimes you're going to struggle to get those thoughts out. But just acknowledging that it's a struggle, I think is good and healthy. But that's crazy to me. Never daydreaming. That's wild.
Do you dream at night?
Yes.
And are they normal dreams? Do you hear dialogue in those dreams?
Holy
think
shit,
so,
I didn't
actually.
even fucking think of that. I didn't even fucking think of that. What a man, who is this guy? Fucking great questions. Absolutely great question. I know he got a lot of them from other people that had questions, but boy, that's a good one. Do your dreams have internal monologue? Boy, is this thing full already? Nice. Boy, I'm really curious to see what she says on this question.
Do you enjoy being alone? I like this question.
Yeah, I do.
That's a good question.
So like if you don't have anything in front of you,
Wait,
like
hang
no
on, dude.
stimulus,
I do.
do you enjoy being alone in your dreams? Do you hear dialogue in those dreams?
I don't think so, actually.
See, like, what was she doing right there? What was she doing right there? Because in that moment, for me, that would be an internal monologue moment. And now it's like, now I'm imagining her, like, brain, like, opening, like, she's, like, visualizing in her brain. It's like, and on the page is written, no. And then that's how she gets her fucking thoughts out. That's wild to me. Or, you know, it's like as I fucking scooch forward, it's like the SpongeBob meme where he's like, oh, maybe her brain is like SpongeBob. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Hang on, let me go find the thing. Where is it? Nope, can't do it on the same tab of there. We're gonna pull that away. Filing. SpongeBob. Where's the? Oh, he's gonna and he has like a fucking breakdown. This isn't a very good one. This one's kind of shit, but this is what I imagine her brain to be.
Just got an order from the boss. Dump everything that isn't about fine dining. Everything? Everything. Come on, come on, come on. Quicker, quicker. Delete.
See, it's not, none of it is actually like, she can't hear the little SpongeBobs talking to each other, but she can hear she can see once a SpongeBob pulls up the sheet of paper for her to look at, she can understand what the SpongeBob is wanting her to see. That is what I imagine this lady's brain like, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's fucking amazing. Because I think for a lot of us that, are like, holy shit, these people don't have internal monologues. To me, it was just nothing. And it's like, oh, well, shit, that makes sense. Walking around with people without fucking internal monologues in their brains. It makes sense that we, struggle to get people to think properly. But no, she still obviously thinks, she still has, things going on up there. They're just a lot more visual than they are verbal. And what I would really like to know, I want one of the people that can't visualize and don't have an internal monologue, because I want to know how those motherfuckers function. Give me a Trump supporter.
Do you enjoy being alone? I like this question.
Yeah, I do.
So like if you don't have anything in front of you, like no stimulus, what is going on in your head?
Stimuli. Fucking
Oh, I always have to be doing stuff. Like if I'm alone, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, I'm like watching Netflix, I'm studying. But I hardly ever I don't just sit there alone.
Do you have any theories on this yourself? / do you even care?
I don't really care.
She's like, I don't give no
really
fuck.
normal to me.
I can't even do this because I can't wrap my head around this. But she is so nonchalant about it, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't
You just
I don't get it.
I don't know.
Just get
It's
used
just
to
my
it.
everyday life.
Yeah.
So I just do it. I do, like, if I'm laying in bed at night, like, I have trouble getting to sleep because I can see, like, lists of things I need to do.
Yep.
And in order to make them go away, I have to
Yeah,
go
so
write
she
them
is.
down.
She's literally.
That's actually one of the questions.
She's literally like the book. She is literally like the book. The book opens, there's a notepad in front of her, and instead of hearing it, somebody is visualizing it. Oh, did we drop fucking frames there for a second? No way. Which is pretty cool. I mean, the visualization that'd be handy. That'd be actually really handy.
Do you fall asleep easily, like quickly, or
No.
is it harder?
No,
to
she
fall
just
asleep?
said that.
Harder to
Come
fall
on.
asleep.
Wake up.
Because I think I'm being almost visually stimulated when like my eyes are closed. I can't shut it out.
Damn.
Yeah, I feel like for me, that voice is just constantly talking, and that makes it also very difficult to sleep. And that's why I feel like a lot of people that are in my situation also think that, like, they wish they could shut it off, and they're kind of jealous of your situation. But then again, we don't know what's going on in your head at all, so it could be even worse. So
I feel like the conversations you're probably having in your head are what I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah. Do you get anxiety?
Yeah. I tend to have really physical symptoms of anxiety. So it's less, I think, of a mental, like, I don't really feel like I am anxious until I realize that, like, my hands are shaking, or I feel really nauseated, or kind of more like physical symptoms of anxiety.
A bunch of people actually messaged me, and they said that most of the people that don't have this internal monologue are bilingual and speak multiple languages. Do you speak multiple languages, or
no,
were you just good at, like, high school language, whatever you took?
Yeah, I was really good at high school language. I took 2 languages, and I know a little bit of 2 other languages. So I love language. I actually wanted to go into linguistics at one point in my life.
That's interesting.
I love sentence structure.
If you're on a date, how do you know if you like them or not?
We still feel stuff.
You still feel it?
We still feel.
You're not, like, judging them, like, looking at them and be like, why would they wear that shirt? Or why does he keep talking,
I think
and why won't he shut up?
I think the things that you have in your head are probably more of, like, the check boxes in my head. So, like, certain things will be like, yep, or like, nope.
I can't do this. When you're typing a sentence, like if you're writing a paper for school, how do you write a sentence if you don't think about, like, how you're gonna phrase the words?
Because they connect.
It's
the sentence. So if there's a noun, it's followed by a verb. If there's, and then.
She's got flowchart brain. This was an interesting one. I like this. She's got flowchart brain. She literally, like, when she goes to write, she's not, like, I'm actually a little surprised this guy's not fully understand. I think he is, but I think he's more blown away than anything that, like, something like this is possible. But what she's doing is, from my understanding anyways, what it seems like is when she wants to put a word somewhere, or she's writing something, the word itself, it's almost like, have you ever seen the speed reading where it's like, this word is now, and it's like, it's showing those little words as you speed read. That is what I would assume, if we could live inside her brain, what her brain would look like. Is every time she thinks of a word, a single word will flash onto her screen, onto her brain, and she will be able to see that word and use that as a stepping stone for everything else that she wants to do, or that she's going to put down. So if she wants to write the dog, the dog is brown, she's going to see the word the, she's going to see the word dog, she's going to see the word is, she's going to see the word brown, and it's all going to flow as one very clear, quick speedy reading thing. And that would explain why she's such a quick reader. So very, very cool.
The shape of the sentence.
Very cool interview.
And also I read my papers aloud, or I'll speak them out loud as I'm typing them, and then I'll go back and I'll change maybe the sentence structure so it fits a better shape. Like, I don't know how to describe the shape of a sentence, but
when I write, I have thoughts, and I write down what I think. So I can't comprehend how you could possibly just make a sentence without having, like, I don't know.
I have, like, an outline and a flow of where I want the paper to go. So from start to finish, I know exactly what I'm going to say, but not specifically word for word. I'll just start writing to make it say what I want it to. But I don't have a sentence that I hear in my head as I'm writing it. I just know where I'm starting and where I want it to go. So.
This guy's really perplexed by that.
I thought this was going to make my life easier and make all of the thinking stop, but this is not helping.
Sorry.
And I apologize if this you guys up even more.
No, if anything, it actually helped me.
What else do we
have?
Helped
me a lot, actually.
Oh, serious question. Have you ever had depression?
Yes.
And how does that manifest? Because I feel like most people that have depression have...
It just visualizes as sad clowns, sir. Okay? Every time I'm sad, I see one of those paintings of the sad clown in front of my face. That's what I visualize.
That little voice in the back of the head that
I swear to
is
God,
like
she
just
says
feeding them negative thoughts. So how does it manifest for you?
I'd say again, it was back in high school, but it was much more of a physical kind of.
Damn,
It's more of a
it's like
physical
sad
symptom.
clown painting in the
Yeah,
brain.
feeling really fatigued, feeling no desire to get up or do anything, feeling no interest in doing anything. So it's not lack of a motivation is like a really poor term for that, but
Less happy emotions, would you say?
yeah,
Is it more an
feeling
emotional thing?
disengaged, disinterested in life.
That makes
general.
sense.
Yeah.
Every time I shower, I relive an argument from like 2007 and I try to win that argument. Do you not do that?
That sounds like a you problem.
It's not. It's unanimous.
No.
Yeah, a
So
lot of people.
You
Yep.
don't think about like discussions that you've had in the past and how you could have said something different in that situation?
No.
Have you?
I literally did that like last night.
I do it
I do it
Constantly.
every time I shower. I
Yep.
am constantly just
The shower is the time for the argument. That's how it works, okay? And anybody that says differently is clearly a no internal monologue enemy of the state, and we need to re-educate people with internal monologues, because that's just society fears what it can't understand, and I just can't understand. No internal monologue. No internal monologue. Just seeing pictures of a boiling frog. Once again, I bet you this lady would make a wicked painter.
thinking about conversations I've had, maybe some awkward interactions from middle school or
that far back.
just whenever.
All the
you know?
time,
I don't
yeah.
choose when it comes into my head. It just pops in there, and I'm like,
I didn't
should've-
choose the thinking life. The thinking
I
life
will say
chose
that If
me.
I've had a conversation that day, sometimes I'll go back, but it's all out loud. I'll tell myself what I would have done differently, or like I'm a big journaler, so I would write about how that
makes
conversation
sense.
went and how I would do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't think we learned anything. I think I'm still spiraling out of control. I don't know where we go from here. She seems okay. I know millions of people.
To be fair, I don't think she got anywhere where she got because she has a visualization internal monologue over a written internal kind of monologue. I don't think that's at all the differentiating facts between the two kind of systems. I think ultimately when it comes to overthinking, that's just going to be something, because you get overthink in her way as well. I'm kind of curious to go. I'm gonna read some of the comments here. I'm going to have a long meeting in my brain about this interview. Before I started this video, I thought to myself, do I have an internal monologue? And I realized that question was a direct result of my internal monologue, LOL. Little does she know he's having an internal monologue about her while simultaneously interviewing her. True. We are definitely not talking enough about this. The blank whiteboard behind her is a very fitting background. Why? Her brain's not fucking blank. Boy, people just not understanding. Imagine being able to lay in bed at night and not have cringe memory. No, she literally just said, "Holy fucking Christ!" Did people not hear what she said? She's constantly up at night with visualization. It's actually worse. Imagine having a phone you could never put down, or a TV you could never turn off in your fucking mind. That's way worse. That's fucking way worse. At least in the fucking anxiety thoughts, it's just noise. As for our questions, I think the reason we are so perplexed is because our internal monologue feels like a true version of ourselves. We have so many thoughts and conversations in our brain. What we might say out loud is a fraction of what we think. Yes, true. This is how our brains function 100% of the time. It's hard to understand someone else doing it differently. I can't wrap my head around how thinking can occur. Oh, internal monologue. She must shower mad efficient. Someone asked a stupid question. Sorry, this sounded better in my head. This girl, question marks. Daydreaming and talking to myself is like 90% of how I entertain myself. Fucking true. I've just always assumed internal monologue to be central to human's experience. So honest. So this is honestly really unsettling. No, I honestly think it's all big misunderstanding, and they probably think that it's like actual loud voices in your head or something. No, I think they both understood each other. I think she understood that you're talking to yourself, and she understood that what she was doing was more of a visualization thing. So Things I took for granted in my life: daydreaming, winning shower arguments, random Oscar acceptance speeches. True. Every day I have like I'm ready for my awards. Fucking give it to me. I am ready. Great. Now my feed is going to be filled, and as I'm scrolling reading these fucking comments, I'm seeing it. Internal monologue, internal monologue, internal monologue, internal monologue. It's like, stop. Hammer time. Okay, this video was from a while ago. Okay, that was super weird. It changed. This is from 1 year ago. Okay. I'm curious to see. This is upper echelon, the dark future of your YouTube feed. Okay. It's not, once again, not very long, 13 minutes. Oh, hopefully you heard that fart. Okay, so he's going to be discussing the grappling with fully automated AI produced content, which fucking cringe. Okay, those all AI stuff all the time is pretty fucking wild. And then I'm not sure what we're gonna do from there. Already 11. I was gonna go till 12:30ish, and then it gives me a little bit of time to edit. It gives me a little bit of time to take the doggo for, you know, the dog place. Can't say the words out loud. He'll fucking freak out. So, oh, bye train. It's 8 p.m. Okay. Ooh. Oh, actually, what I want to check out is average cost of gas. Alberta right now. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Still that 143 to 150. I think gas stations near us were 155. Not good. Not good. If you're somebody that likes driving, if you're somebody that likes things, you know, not costing a bajillion dollars a month, well, ruh-roh, Reggie. We're headed into an economic collapse, Reggie. That's the fucking Trump administration as a whole, by the way. It's just fucking Scooby-Doo at the fucking on the wheel of this fucking clown show.
News. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. All right, today is a continuation of something I've been talking about for quite some time, and that is the general degradation of online content.
Ooh, I like that word,
aka
degradation.
For some, it's a very obvious phenomenon because they happen to be around when the internet was first born and
witnessed
the golden age of digital connectivity before it was infinitely polluted by advertising, social media, and corporate brands. For others, the issue is a lot less noticeable because they simply don't have any frame of reference. Whether or not people can see what's happening doesn't change the fact that it is happening.
True.
And today I want to talk about the evolution of content creation because the dark future of that industry impacts me directly.
Okay, where are these guys going?
It doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure it will happen, and I'll cross that bridge when I get there eventually, but let's just say I hope I'm wrong. There's a lot of different angles here, but the one...
Now, this is a year out. This was a year ago, so I'm curious to see what he was warning about and where we are now, because I would agree that a lot of the content that we do seem to be... See, where the fuck are they going? The content we seem to be getting it's just slop. It's just slop. And the sea, like, it feels like we're in, like, climate change of the fucking internet, where the sea of slop just keeps getting bigger. Our polar hang on. Oh, our polar focus caps are melting. Okay, and I'm like, shit, if we don't, we need to save the mind bears, okay? The mindler bears. Okay, because the fucking focus polar ice caps are fucking melting. Suck. And if we don't save them, we're gonna be flooded with content slop till the day we die. And you know, the upper echelon is fucking Al Gore right now.
What I want to focus on for today is YouTube. Twitter is already an ad fraud breeding ground. I'm working on a separate story about that as we speak, with billions of impressions and artificial bot networks, engagement farming of the highest order, and various other forms of content pollution, I guess I'll call it, which basically means regurgitated, plagiarized, or manipulated content being posted simply to garner clicks and...
Yep. And I think a big thing too is if it didn't make people money, people wouldn't do it. Oh, they come to this little... What are they doing out here? toss that in there for you boys. I'm not gonna make it back home anyways.
ad revenue. But that's Twitter, and today is more so about YouTube.
That's
On
Twitter.
YouTube, things have been relatively insulated. Yes, a lot of channels are posting content purely for ad revenue. Yes, there's a huge amount of content slop, as some people call it, aimed at kids primarily. An example of that would be the whole Elsa-gate situation, where these bizarre videos of people dressed up as like Spider-Man and Elsa and Disney characters would just prance around and do really weird things, a lot of which was definitely not child appropriate in the slightest. But at least that was real people, and after the community became aware of it all, the content was pretty quickly restricted and became far...
Do you ever think that people feel stupid doing stuff like that? Do you think the people ever feel disgusted by themselves for making that kind of content? Do you think they have any mirrors in their fucking houses? Because I'll be honest with you, after making content like that, I would not be able to look at myself in the mirror. I wouldn't. That's fucking weird. That's so fucking strange that you would make content like the weird Elsa-gate shit. Like, it's just, that's so fucking weird. But I guess there's been weirder ways that people have debased themselves for fucking cash and shit like that. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I refuse to believe it's for anything else. Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, I really like that one that he was just showing as an example. Nobody's making like Elsa and fucking Spider-Man, and then the Joker shows up, and they're like, yeah, because I really like Elsa and Spider-Man. No, motherfucker, you didn't do that for that. You did that because you're wanting to get cash, and you know that kids are gonna consume this fucking content because kids like weird shit. Okay, that's why cartoons are weird. They're wacky. They're fucking strange. Kids love that shit. So it's like you can say you're doing whatever you're doing for whatever reason that makes you fucking feel better, but I guarantee you, it's just not the case. Okay, the copper seems to get used up more right now, so we're gonna switch out. We're gonna switch out that copper ore for coal. Actually, do we even need any coal right now? No, I don't think we do. Well, we'll just keep going. We'll keep going with the same thing. Once we need coal, because now we're set up for the coal. Because that was what I wanted to test to see if it would make it. But it should. We'll follow everything. Actually, do we have a piece of coal? I must have one piece of coal in my inventory. I do not. Let's find a coal deposit and we'll toss one on the conveyor belt.
However, that was then and this is now, which are two wildly different points in time, because the mechanisms by which content slop can be produced are now dramatically more refined, sitting on the cusp of a new online era, if you will, of AI-generated videos on autopilot, which will overwhelm your content feed completely, as people spin up production for the sake of generating ad revenue by any means necessary.
Any means, baby.
Today's example comes courtesy of a creator named Blue Drake 42.
Ooh,
now, to be clear, I don't
Blue
actually
Drake
have
get
an
called
issue
out,
with
bitch.
this guy personally. I'm pretty sure we were on a podcast together.
Too late. Called him out.
He's a super cool dude, as well as a few other creators when
called
that happened.
Out.
But his efforts to refine a new tool for generating content on YouTube is the first concrete indication of what's about to happen to the wider platform, which will absolutely affect all of us in a very negative way.
Okay.
In all honesty,
give it to me. Give it to me, upper echelon.
Perfecting tools like this, if he can pull it off adequately, which obviously has appeal, but the downstream ramifications are hard to ignore, and I wanted to spend some time discussing that before it all actually happens. Okay. Here's a bit of context. YouTube is now actively grappling with the idea of generative AI on their platform. New tools like Sora from OpenAI, which involves video production, or generative image technology like Midjourney.
Oh, by the way, YouTube won't do anything about it. Just for the record, YouTube at the end of the day is a business that is trying to have as many eyeballs on it as humanly possible. If part of those eyeballs requires that YouTube allow slop on the platform, slop will be on the platform. That is just that's the sad, dark reality of it. Right now, if there's a future where the AI slop isn't as lucrative for YouTube, okay, then I could see YouTube being like, all right, guys, the slop was fun. We've had our lulls. We've had our Elsa's pregnant. We've had weird alien babies. But now it's time to clean it up. Now we have to kind of crack down the slop. Because realistically, at the end of the day, if it's getting views and eyeballs and advertisers aren't complaining about, because realistically that would be the big thing, is if advertisers step forward and said, hey, I want to ensure that the ads that people are seeing are seen by real fucking people. I don't even know, honest to God, I don't even know how they do that now. How does YouTube ensure ads are being seen by real people and not bots? People, bot, view counts. I'm assuming it's watch time. YouTube ensures views are legitimate by using machine learning algorithms, so more AI, to analyze traffic for suspicious patterns like insta-skips, natural surges, or non-human interaction, and filters them out in real time to prevent advertisers' charges. They distinguish bots from humans by looking for high engagement such as clicks, comments, and long watch times, as opposed to inorganic, rapid, and repetitive view patterns. Wait, couldn't I just then make the bots so they can comment? Right? Because of real-time traffic filtering, YouTube systems monitor for sudden spikes in views without corresponding engagement like likes and comments. I would just get the bots to comment. Invalid. YouTube's filters do not meet their qualified standards, grabbing fake views to ensure marketers are not billed for non-human ad engagement metrics. YouTube checks for indicators for genuine interest, such as viewing more than 30 seconds of an ad or clicking on it to count as a valid view. Bot detection clues. Low engagement ratios, abnormal traffic sources, frozen view counts. Views stop rising, YouTube is likely auditing them to ensure they are legitimate. YouTube ads explained. Real fans or fake views? New tubers from Reddit. Okay, I'm gonna read this. I don't know. We'll read it and then we'll continue on. A close friend of mine said that he has $100 he wants to spend on YouTube to advertise his music. He has 30 songs and some have like 700, 800 views. Some have as little as only 30 views. Go figure. His account, pretty much none of these come from YouTube itself, so YouTube is not the one promoting any of his songs. Anyhow, I helped him set it up. We targeted one of the largest songs. Sorry, so that I don't my data doesn't pass in the game. Anyhow, I helped him set it up. We targeted one of the largest songs. It's a cool music video that's really good in everyone's opinion, has a chance for viral outcome and millions of views, as it's better than most of the current stuff. That song was new and only had 40 views in 2 days after 2 days of being posted. Anyhow, 6 days later, $100 was gone, and he got 190 views out of it. Ha ha ha, $100 for 190 views. Probably even less, as a potential a number of those are just organic views. Okay, so that's not the bad part. He managed to get 110 new subscribers. That's the hilarious stuff. Out of those 190 views, none liked the music video, none commented, none of them watched any other music videos. So somehow, like 60% of those 190 views decided to randomly subscribe to a channel without a single like or even watching any other music video. I don't know about you, I've never subscribed to a channel without liking a video and watching a few more. That is true. This clearly shows that YouTube is involved in fake subscribers at the very least. I could see 4 of these subscribers with the names like John0028143 or similar fake-looking names. So my advice to you, do not use YouTube advertising. He had the money, he learned his lesson, we laughed about it, do not do it. Yeah, if I got an ad for some random bozos music, I'd probably hit skip too. LOL. Yeah, not flaming OP, but I have literally never had a music ad that I didn't skip or listen to ironically. Very rarely does forcing someone to listen to your music actually work, especially in the early stages, I'd imagine. Okay, let's click off that. Well, this is a fairly new one too. Wait, that's 7 days. When did they post this? 7 days ago. Oh shit, it's not that fucking old. Couple of things. If his highest viewed video was around 800 views max, your suggestion of the potential for millions of views does not seem to be connected to reality. I would agree with that. Everybody's opinion, which I'm guessing means your friends and family, is likely not the target audience and also heavily biased to tell you and your friends, yes. Problem with yes men. Also, it's well known that paying for promotion doesn't get you actual engaged viewership. Some of it is bots, but be the YouTuber elsewhere, some of it's people who are basically forced to watch your video as an ad, so you're not getting quality views. Yeah, true. But somebody comes down in the comments and disagrees. I beg to differ. I've seen bands of the festival headliner written all over their work. Charming visuals, absolutely astonishing music, and no flops, etc. and barely make it to 1K views. Maybe, but good quality talent and widespread appeal doesn't necessarily always go hand in hand. You definitely need the latter to go viral. The OP honestly reads a lot like people who are extremely proud of what they put out, and I don't fault them for it. Be proud of your work, but also overestimate the quality and or appeal of it. Hell, I've been there myself. I didn't realize how much room I had to improve when I started out. Yeah, I would probably generally agree that probably promoting your shit's not going to get you a lot of views, but that's not quite what we're looking for, but a good read nonetheless. So here's another one. From YouTubers, the real difference between bot views and Google ads for YouTube growth. Okay, let's read this one. I'm kind of curious to see this person's perspective on it. I've been digging into the world of YouTube advertising and came across some crucial insights that I think are worth sharing, especially for those of us looking to grow our channels without falling into traps that could hurt us in the long run. When you hear about buying YouTube views, you often encounter two distinct options: bot views from shady SMM panels versus legitimate views from Google Ads. It might be tempting to go for the cheaper bot views, but it's important to understand why this could be a huge mistake. Bot views are just ineffective. They can actually violate YouTube's terms of service. Go figure. These views come from the bot accounts, are quickly detected and purged by YouTube, leading to potentially dire consequences for your channel. In contrast, Google Ads often offers a reliable way to reach real users, allowing for targeted advertising that can genuinely increase your channel's engagement metrics, including watch time and potential subscribers. I'm not going to lie, this reads like something somebody from corporate wrote. From personal experience, utilizing Google Ads has been a game changer. It allows for granular targeting based on demographics and user interests, which can lead to higher engagement and a better return on investment, plus optimizing your ad creation. Your ad creative is crucial. The first few seconds of your video are vital in grabbing attention, so make sure your thumbnails and titles are engaging. Never feel like we're just all a bunch of retarded children? Where it's like, or even just, not even retarded children. We can use a nicer analogy. I can be gentler about it. It's like we're a bunch of fucking cockatiels trapped in a cage, and the cage is our focus. Okay, and in our cage, we like a mirror. We like to stare at it every now and then. We want to know that we're pretty cockatiels. But that was long ago when our cage was small and our cage made sense. Now our cage is some dilapidated fucking rusted ass piece of shit, and instead of one mirror we have 900 fucking mirrors, and we don't know which mirror to look at. But the mirror that has the jingling keys, the best jingling keys, because it can't just be jingling keys, it has to be a specific kind of jingling keys that attract our attention with pretty colors and words that make us think things and feel things really quickly, because if we have to think about our feelings for more than 15 seconds, and even that might be too long, our heads will explode and our fucking cockatiel brains will crater in like a fucking neutron star. This isn't definitely not what I wanted to look at, but that's interesting. But once again, it's kind of written like a corporate thing where it's like, no, don't use bots. Well, wasn't quite what I was looking for, but it does seem like YouTube has ways, but it seems like there could be ways you could get around that by just fucking having your bots chat at shit. So excuse me. I don't know about that one, guys. Okay, anyways, let's continue on.
And Stable Diffusion are becoming increasingly accessible by the day, but YouTube is now faced with a growing dilemma of how do we moderate all this? And their solution right now is this, quote, "We won't require creators to disclose if generative AI was used for productivity, like generating scripts, content ideas, or automatic captions," end quote. I guess I should be thankful they're even thinking about it at all, but the solution is extremely hands-off and opens the door for automatic video production in its entirety, which is precisely what Blue Drake 42 has apparently been perfecting, which is the centerpiece for this entire video. Generally speaking, the news cycle around AI moves very fast. New developments are talked about constantly with positive or negative spin, depending on whichever.
And that's what we're going to talk about, grab news.
Great from a tech enthusiast perspective, but that type of never-ending news cycle can get extremely overwhelming. Today's video sponsor, Ground News, actually solves that problem. And I personally use their platform for one reason in particular.
I like some people's transitions.
The link is obviously down below if you want to check them out. Contemporary breaking news gets plastered everywhere all the time, but Ground News gathers it all in one place with a clear system of marking bias, corporate ownership, and distribution of coverage. For this example, ChatGPT partnering with Reddit, that is, which means even more pollution of the online world with AI-created slop, hooray. They've garnered 55 different articles where you can see that 36% lean left, 24% right, and 39%
waiting for that one little lonely piece of coal.
Headlines, find discrepancies, and make your own determinations on what to believe or when. Example, OpenAI strikes Reddit deal to train its AI on your posts versus Reddit forges pact with OpenAI to bring content to ChatGPT. These are very different atmospheres to project. Ground News helps cut through biased reporting. They don't operate with any sort of intrinsic ethos or perspective of their own to push, and they provide the necessary tools to help you navigate information better in a modern digital environment, which is a very valuable tool. If you click the link down below in the description right now or scan the QR code as well to sign up, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan. Again, link down below, ground.news/echelon for 40% off a Vantage plan today. Big thank you to Ground News for sponsoring the channel and for being a research tool used in the making of this and many other videos.
Oh, at least there's a whole bunch up there too.
All right, back on task. Reddit, Twitter, and basically all social media platforms are actively in the process of grappling with this. But for YouTube, Blue Drake 42, in my opinion, has created something that is an early warning sign of what's generally to come. Here's what he said on Twitter. Pause, future self here. He actually took his Twitter private because of the backlash. He's not backing down on the conceptual importance of AI and content generation, but yeah, when a huge number of people on social media start just all out screaming at you, the impulse is to just turn it off. I don't blame him at all for doing it. I have the quote written down, though.
I mean, the real baller move would have been to use AI to write responses for all your fucking Twitter haters. That would have been the real king shit right there. Like, oh, you don't like the fact I'm using AI for my videos? Well, I'm going to use AI to respond to you. Fucking boom. Double down. Don't fucking, if you like, I think that's my thing with AI. If you are going to use AI to make your shit, that's cool. That's fine. I fucking 100% fucking implore you to do whatever you feel fit. Whatever you feel like is a creative outlet for you, cool. But if you're going to do the thing, own the thing, right? If you're going to be like, no, I'm using this tool to build the things I want to see in life, which is fine. Maybe you struggle to build certain, you can visualize it really well, but you can't get it out on a paper. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But be honest about it, and don't for lack of better terms, don't pussyfoot around it. Just be honest. Hey, I'm gonna use fucking AI to generate my shit. Don't like it? Don't watch. If you're type deal. Because I think that's a lot more. I think that's a lot more honest. A, it is a lot more honest. And B, just own your shit. Like, don't, if you're gonna, if you're not enjoying the backlash, or you're like, oh shit, well, I don't like that people don't like this, then fucking don't do it. Like, that would be the other thing. It's like, okay, did he stop doing AI shit? And it's like, well, no, he kept doing it. He just didn't like the backlash. And I'm like, well, what did you expect, honestly? You're dipping your waters in the pool of AI when people are like, hey, that pool is filled with shit. When you're like, no, guys, like, come on down and swim. Like, at least own that you're swimming in the pool of shit, instead of making it seem like you're, swimming in a nice, clear, crystal lake with fucking Jason just around the corner.
I don't have the background footage to go with it before it got removed. So yeah, I'm going to be reading the quote. I just don't have the visuals. Anyway, quote. Over the last year, I've been learning how to program and build software applications as a solo developer. A few months ago, I showed a program I built that scans YouTube for new topics I can cover. Last week, I finished a new evolution of that same project that literally researches, writes, records, edits, and uploads a video all by itself.
Holy fuck.
Right now, I have it uploading videos about free games that it finds on the internet. I'm looking for more developers who are interested in helping me with this project. I'm not entirely sure what to use it for.
Damn, he uses it for everything.
Opportunities are endless. Right now, I just have it finding.
Damn. Okay, so I didn't realize it was gonna be this level of AI. You must know you're gonna fucking take heat for this one. Why would you even be shocked? And quite frankly, why would you let the hate bother you? You must have known. You must have known it was coming. And at that level, when you're going to go like that blatantly fucking, autistic levels of using the AI, because at that point, what are you creating? You've created the program, congratulations. But after that, all you're trying to do is create like a money funnel for yourself. Right, puppers? Yeah, you stretch out those fucking ham hocks.
Games, because I feel like that's something people would find valuable, even if the video is created by a robot. Link to the video below if you're interested in working with me on this project.
But why couldn't you have taken the information that AI provided you with and then made a video yourself that was authentically you? Now, I made a video a little while ago that talked about artificial integrity, how we are at the point we are outsourcing human integrity and honesty and authenticity to robots. And it is interesting that a year ago, Upper Echelon was talking about this and how bad it could potentially get. I think we're reaching the bad parts of this.
Please send me a DM. End quote. Well, that's fairly descriptive, but the key takeaway is that the entire process is allegedly automated. I'm a little bit skeptical here because there's only one example of this on the YouTube channel that he directly linked, which means the program isn't running consistently in the background without supervision on that channel just yet.
Oh, that'd be
Maybe it is
fucking
elsewhere.
crazy.
Take it at face value, assuming he's telling
Damn
the
it,
truth.
Sunday. God
Even
damn it,
if we
guys.
discount what he's saying substantially, because a lot of people are working on similar concepts right now with varying degrees of success for those
Of course they are.
projects, the results are an extremely disheartening example of what's to come. Pausing again here, future self. Yeah, now there are multiple other examples. Pretty sure he does have this up and running actively on his channel, using it to double down against the people that are criticizing him, of which there are many now. So I'm a lot less skeptical, to say the very least. I believe it. And also there was a few days in between when I created this topic and when I finally uploaded it. So yeah, there were a few developments. He made a response video, and the situation
we could build
has
things that need water over here.
The video itself is a collection of free-to-play video games, as he stated, where supposedly everything was written, produced, and uploaded by AI. The voice is a construct based on a few hours of him supposedly reading a book and feeding the audio into a program called 11 Labs, which is definitely possible to do. And while the actual video footage wasn't created by AI, it's all trailers for the games and B-roll of them being played. Apparently, the editing process and script writing was automatically generated.
That's
Taking
wild.
all of this at face value, it is a terrifying prospect because if true, it's an 8-minute and 51-second video, which is above the threshold needed for mid-roll advertising, which is the most lucrative form of ads on YouTube, with 10 examples of free-to-play video games, making it an adequate list format, that also has, to be completely honest here, decent structure and content flow, which was created by an automated program. Depending on your perspective here, that is horrifying, or you see dollar signs flashing in front.
It's both. It's both horrifying and impressive, all in one fellow swoop. That you could take a program like that, give it an idea, and it's like, you know, and build it around this like idea that I want you to go and collect new games that maybe other channels, because that's the other thing too, is like if he's scouring YouTube for these new games that people are playing, my thought would be is that there's either somebody already talking about it or somebody's playing it and wanting people to enjoy the entertaining content that they want to put out. And then what this guy is doing is he's coming along as the shit shoveler, the shit scraper, and scraping all of the other hard work that somebody else has put in and done, allowing the machine to do all the work for him and then repurposing it as his own shit. Now, that I would say is more akin to copyright violations than even what I'm doing here, because you could argue that what I'm doing here could be bordering on copyright shit, where I'm sitting, watching a video, giving my very human, emotional take on something, whereas it's all machine. So it is just very, and then on top of that, you obviously want people to watch your video, learn about the new games, play it so that they can go get something out of it. You're trying to make a connection with these people, with your viewers, with your watchers, but at the end of the day, there's no connection that you're making. There's nothing actually connecting you with your fucking viewers, but you're expecting the viewers to give you the same level of quote unquote respect and attention and give them your focus that you would if you spent time making the thing. And I think that is what disgusts people the most, I think, when it comes to AI generated stuff.
Because it also manages to be extremely close to something that is indistinguishable from human production.
Yeah.
The very low end of human production, granted, which was produced automatically, meaning that all of us, we are all right on the edge of a tidal wave hitting, where one computer with one AI agent operating on it can pump out 8-minute videos perpetually that simply scrape, edit, and re-upload existing B-roll with AI-generated scripts and audio.
At a speed that I could never, as a person, hope to replicate. I can't go scrape the web and make, fucking 10 videos a day with all this shit, but I guarantee you, a bot on YouTube could. And I think that is the unfortunate, that is the focus caps melting exponentially. That is it right there. Is that, at some point, all the content that you consume, it's just going to be AI slop. Because at some point, the people that are trying to, because this is the thing that YouTube's going to have to contend with at some point, would they rather a library of computer generated slop, or, you know, copies upon copies upon copies, or would they rather have a platform that actually is a creative input for humanity, or creative like outlet for humanity, not an input? Because that ultimately is going to be the question at some point YouTube's going to have to relish in, and I hate to break it, it's probably going to be the one that makes them the most amount of fucking money. Which I don't necessarily fault them. They're a fucking business. They're not meant to you know, do things in the best interest of humanity, although we would like it at times for them to do that. But that's not what their main focus is going to be. It's going to be making money. So,
final kicker, they don't need to be disclosed because the AI was used for productivity, not deception. Hopefully this is making sense, but I'll break it down anyway in case it's not. Even a rudimentary version of this, if commercially available and sold to the wider ecosystem at large, would result in a massive, never-ending stream of AI-generated content slop flooding across your YouTube feed, even beyond the concept of YouTube Shorts, like your actual regular feed, from every conceivable angle. We're staring down the barrel of a situation where average video titles, and actually quote me on this if it ends up being some kind of YouTube meta, will start containing the words "real human" in big bold letters, because the barrage of AI-generated garbage for advertising.
Oh my god, it's not, but it is now. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on now. Hang on. We need to change the stream title. Episode 2. Quote, real human, not bot. There we go. Boom. Thank you, Upper Echelon. With real people, totally not a bot, just autism. It might, oh no, we moved it over. It might not have been meta before, but it is now. They told me to pick up a little blue man, or a little blue car. They didn't say nothing about a little blue man.
In particular, can rapidly, or rather will rapidly, outpace actual human production. There's a lot of think pieces out there right now about this topic, but the gist of it, broadly speaking, is that AI-generated content is flooding across the internet, damaging pretty much every single platform it comes in contact with.
Yeah, it does good.
And there doesn't seem to be an actual counter-push to prevent it. Something like Etsy, for example, is struggling under the weight of AI-generated patterns and designs that have crippled the ecosystem for actual sellers, with a perfect quote from The Atlantic reading, "Younger generations often talk about the total fakeness of money and the surreal position of always having to collect it. Logically, they want to make money online by creating something out of nothing. And with the help of AI, they can even make money by making nothing out of nothing." End quote. That's a very prescient thing to hear when even my own job is on the cusp of being flooded by AI-generated garbage. It's funny to think that a generation of people who think money is fake and fancy themselves to be rebels without a cause are then polluting and destroying whatever digital ecosystem they come in contact with for a quick payday. But yeah, I'll spare you all from hearing about how the younger generations are worse, because that's just old man yelling at clouds. YouTube is primarily video, which lagged behind basic image generation when it comes to AI aptitude. When the process has been fully automated, whether by this new program that Blue Drake 42 is working on or one of the innumerable competitors out there pursuing the exact same thing, the platform in its entirety will rapidly be overrun. Making nothing out of nothing and monetizing it is the new internet normal, and YouTube is about to be the next stomping ground for it. Obviously, some creators will adapt or persist regardless, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be one of those creators because I don't think an AI can replicate what I do, really. At least not the good work that I do in the interesting video.
See, that's where I'd say you're a little short-sighted, my friend. I think that's a dangerous game to play as well. Thinking that AI can't do, because I would wager that there's going to be somebody out there that is going to program a bot that can do what Upper Echelon does. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, But at some point, sometime, there will be somebody having video essayists having the, you could probably do it now. I could probably take one of the articles that I've written on Substack and throw it into Gemini or Claude or OpenAI or Anthropic, or literally any of those, Sora, and I bet you it could make a video essay an hour long worth out of the little bit that I've given it, and I bet you people would consume it, given enough time. And if you're going to build a YouTube channel all around those, and all you're doing is writing, short little things, and then it's getting put out there, I don't know, man. It's eventually it's coming. It's coming.
That I produce. I don't think AI is going to catch up to that level for a long time, but I pride myself on seeing things before they happen, or at least trying to. And this is an example of something that seems painfully self-evident and will affect the entire platform I have existed on for the past 8 years. I'll certainly keep trucking along as it happens, as I've said, but don't be surprised if your feed gets bombarded sometime in the next, 6 to 8 months?
Oh,
Like
it
a
already
fire
is.
hose of stuff that feels extremely low quality and barely even human.
Yep.
Because it's not human. And yeah,
It's
if that whole meta with big
bots.
bold letters saying real human or human made becomes a thing, quote me on that. I predicted it. It's hitting basically every platform.
Upper Echelon, we are going to make your prediction come true. Okay, we're going to make your prediction come true. I have it. It's the RawTism Nation is growing. Episode 2, real human, not a bot. We're going to be the first on that fucking meta.
Some better, some worse, but YouTube has a stance where you don't even need to disclose when you use AI tools for productivity, big air quotes there, which effectively means tidal wave incoming, to put it kindly. That's it. If you want to support real human content, because I'll never go down that road, I'll leave the platform before I go down that road. There's links down below. Patreon and locals are the best way, obviously, as well as video sponsors, which also do a pretty good job helping you cut through the idea of AI-generated garbage creeping into the actual news cycle. That's Ground News. Good tool.
It always feels like AI slop is creeping on me. It's coming for me. Orange cat activities. What is reality? Oh, I'm multiplying, and I'm losing control. Well, we're gonna watch everybody's favorite political commentator, Destiny, because I started watching this yesterday about the snarker communities that he has to deal with. I say has to. I say have to a little bit loosely there. You don't have to deal with these people. But unfortunately, the reality is it is part of the job. And bullies, because that's what I would say they are, bullies require being put in their place to deal with them. What is that? Is that coal? Oh, that is coal. Ooh. We're going to do steel beams right here. Because this one's gonna... We're gonna come here, go up. Up one more. Cross. Oh, because actually we can put a little we'll put a little tunnel right there. And hearing some of the shit that people engage in with him is, honest to God, some of the most degenerate fucking behavior. Because, honest to God, the thing is, like or hate the guy, that shouldn't fucking matter. What matters is the absolute fucking unhingedness that people go into when it's somebody they dislike. And I'd like to listen to the rest of this, because I am fascinated to some degree with the internet, its communities, and the kind of culture that has kind of been built on the internet. We're gonna take a 5-second break. I'm gonna use the little boy's room, and I'm gonna refill my coffee because caffeine is king, and then we will continue on with our show. We'll be right back after these messages. Do you ever feel like you can't get a boner? Well, fucking Cialis is for you. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, it turns out the noise I was hearing upstairs was just me, and I'm a loud motherfucker, so that makes sense. All right, welcome back. Well, before we get into this, I think it stands to reason we need a little bit of understanding where we're coming from, who this is, and all that good nature. So, Destiny, political streamer on YouTube, big, huge. I would say probably one of the largest in terms of total length of time that they've been on the platform, doing political stuff. I mean, I started watching, I think, 2017, 2018, but I know before that he was doing stuff, you know, StarCraft streamer originally, turned politics. Like I said, love him, hate him. Otherwise, he's done some things that are really good. He's done some things that are pretty shady. But I think at the end of the day, that doesn't really necessarily mean that you need to be weird about people online. Now, I understand that there are some people that do. That's fine. That's their right. That's their style. Not my style. Don't like it. Don't appreciate it. But I do find learning how unhinged people are, that's fascinating to me. The unhingedness of people can be really something else. So I want to watch a little bit of this snarker stuff. No guarantee we'll get through the other half an hour that I have, 45 minutes that I have to listen to this, mainly because I really only want to do about another half an hour or so. Because I want to take time to get this through Adobe Premiere. I want to put out episode 2 as an actual video because those seem to do a lot better in the quote-unquote algorithm than the kind of live streams do right now. So,
as being a clout demon that fucks streamers, that was her huge deal. That's why she's lied to every single person in her life, her father included, about her sexual history. And that's why she had to be so defensive when that video leaked. It wouldn't surprise me if she literally told her dad that she was a virgin, and then she has to explain how that video can possibly exist. But she's lied to literally every single person. And now I know this now via depositions, right? That about every part of her
You know what? I'll be the weird parent. Over the age of 18, I would just assume, or no, 18 specifically, but even 16, that my child is sexually active at that point, unless evidence to the contrary. Because I was just assuming, because you should be trying to teach them healthy, sexual habits and shit like that, anyways, around that period. And at that point, like, if you're a parent, you're like, oh, my daughter, she's just a little fucking sweet and good. Your daughter's probably a bitch. I'm sorry. Like, nobody's child is that perfect that if you're, oh, little sweetie comes, they're not getting into any trouble. I guarantee you they are one of the largest fucking troublemakers, and you just refuse to see it, which is fine. You can be that way, but just, like, be aware of your delusion, I guess.
Sexual bias.
Okay, so Destiny lies about people, so he's not a liberal. So Destiny says that about Pixie, so he lies about people, so he's not a liberal. Wick logic, we've got there.
Okay, so you understand, right, that when I said he's a liberal but, that there was a follow-up to that?
Fringe.
Oh, yeah, good. You get the caveat with him, but with me, I don't get any of that.
Wick shouldn't have gotten... Wick is getting mired down in a dumb argument. Now he's fighting against it because he feels like he has to. I think the issue Wick had was if the guy was willing to lie about an argument that Wick was making that was more of a liberal talking point, and the guy's fighting against it, then it seems like an illiberal thing to do. It's probably not a good argument to say he's even illiberal, but Wick is now... Because the guy was... I think that Wick tweet making fun of quote-unquote dead ICE officers. You're not making fun of dead ICE officers. It's more the fact that, like, they posted a whole memorial wall implying the job is super dangerous, but the thing that killed, like, 95% of these people was fucking COVID.
It was
which
COVID.
is kind of funny
issues,
given that that's one of the big conspiracies that conservatives push that led to people dying. So, but I don't even know why I'm explaining it. It's like plainly obvious when you read it to understand that. So
because he has shown...
On the back of that, what has been super weird is seeing the U.S. administration put out basically video game footage of their war with Iran in the hopes of, I don't know, it must be in the hopes of drumming up support or having young people like almost get a little fervored at the idea of going to war in the hopes of, joining in and helping. I don't know how serious they are. I don't know if it's a legit thing, but there's been some people floating the idea of a fucking draft in the States, which, honest to God, that would be pretty fucked up. I don't think there should ever be drafts. I think, oh, look at that, 3 hours ago. It's one of them, 6 days ago. Well, the administration says there's no current plan for a draft. I wouldn't trust them. Oof. Yeah, I'd be a little bit sus. I mean, so far it seems like a lot of countries have basically told the US to go fuck themselves when it comes to this war, which is really good, and I hope that our leader Mark Carney continues to do that as well, being like, no, we're not coming to help you. Sorry, you started the shit, you deal with it. I think that's good. Fuck that shit. We don't need to every time the US gets involved with any regime change stuff, especially in the modern 21st century, their shit gets fucked. It's long, it's lengthy, it's expensive, and nothing happens, and it's all for naught. So it's just like their track record of shit isn't great, and I would fully support not joining them in any capacity. Fuck them. That's their bed. They made it. They can lie in it.
Own honesty in a way that you have not.
Okay, yeah, good.
There have been honest interactions I've had with him, and I have not had those with you.
Okay, that's cool.
Shade.
I think you are just like grasping at straws here. You want to deny me being a liberal because you just don't like that I'm on the same team as you. And
if you can show me evidence that you're a liberal, I'll
political
retract
fucking
that,
labels, cringe.
Like suddenly you guys are everyone has to vote for Newsom. We all have to do these gay.
See, this is further evidence.
Prove you're a liberal to me. Prove you're a liberal.
This is further evidence that
I don't like Newsom. I can't be a liberal. Is that really your stance?
I don't think.
I don't like Newsom.
What liberal beliefs do you have?
I believe that we should expand healthcare and safety.
Hold on. Expanding healthcare does not make you liberal, right? You can be a liberal and oppose that. You understand that, right?
What?
Okay, I get. Let's start here.
You know what? I'll be honest. I'll be entirely ignorant. If you were to ask me off the top of my head what a liberal value is, I would just say I'd give the vague like freedom of the press, freedom of association, freedom of movement, the right to self-determination, things of those. There's those four off the top of my head would be like the four like core values that I would say would put me probably towards more the liberal category. Those just four things right there, plain value. And not knowing and being fully aware that I am totally unversed in the topics. But look at that. Even the first thing, individual freedom and autonomy, equality of opportunity, democracy and human rights, social safety nets, progressive action, like things like that. So Yeah, based on in the rights of individuals, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality, and a right to private property. Yeah, I would probably agree with all of those. So I don't know how healthcare would fall into that.
What is a liberal? What is a liberal to you? What does liberal mean? Maybe we're using the different definitions here, perhaps.
Well, you tell me your definition of liberal.
A liberal believes in, like, there's 3 kind of pillars.
Well, that's a sneaky way to get out of answering a question. I'll be honest with you. If I was like, hey, what do you think a liberal is? And they're like, what do you think a liberal is? And then I, like, Vic shouldn't have. You'd be like, no, I asked you first. You need to give me what your definition is, and then I'll give you mine. You can't, like, because this guy, I would be shocked if he answered
fair elections. Okay, in that, the belief in in rhetoric, which is a fundamentally different thing. But they don't understand these concepts, or many of them do understand.
Maybe he just goes over it again at the very end.
That I see.
Hey, I'm going to use Destiny Standard.
Oh,
and Destiny Standard is, I'm going to put
Doobie! It's so crazy also because outside of these guys, like, A-logging me, I haven't interacted with these people and I, like, never interact with these people. So I don't know what energizes them or what keeps them going for years to call in and talk about me and obsess over me over and over and over and over again. The stream was supposed to be Wick versus haters, by the way. Yeah, but I think a lot of the haters that Wick has are literally just my anti.
So A-logging, for all those newbies to internet slang and chat, including myself. A-logging, a term used to describe one expressing disappropriate levels of hatred for someone, often including wishing them physical harm. I'm gonna A-log you, bud. Usually perceived crimes that they are guilty of. Another term for it is a term used by white knights for specific lolcows to describe someone who criticizes that said lolcow in any way, shape, or form in order to cope with the fact that the lolcow, their white knighting, has problems. Okay, interesting. Well, what we really needed to know is what is doing a Kenny Loggins, okay? That's expelling solid log-shaped excrement from the anus. Doing a poo? No, I'm doing a Kenny Loggins.
Fans that always try to isolate me from everybody.
Hello. So
you
say I was dishonest about a few things.
Yes. Before we get there, though, I want to answer your question earlier. You said something. It was like the super chat was like, I think, given that Destiny and Dan had done all these things to people who haven't doxed them, whatever, doesn't that justify what this guy's doing? I want to be clear. I don't agree with going after kids, whatever, at all.
So you
right?
just
fuck do I get looped in with Dan?
So you aren't applying that to him going after Nathan and doing all that bullshit, right?
Hey, well, yes and no.
Yes
so I can understand
no?
if
what?
Let me explain. So I wouldn't do it. I don't agree with it. But if he's using the same standard that Destiny does, I think it does make sense because some of the people that Destiny's doxers encourage people to dox their children, have families, and all these people are put at risk.
I couldn't imagine streaming for a certain amount of time, saying things that maybe people don't agree with, which I'm sure is bound to happen, and then being like, oh, we need to go after your kid. We need to make sure they never get employment because of what you said. Like, I'm not often one to say we need to bring back insane asylums, but if you are doing that kind of shit, you need to be locked away because there is fundamentally something broken in your fucking brain that needs to be researched and dealt with in a way that you just existing in everyday society is not going to solve. Like, that's some next level mental issues that you can't deal with on your own because no sane, no normal, no well-adjusted person is ever going to act like that. I refuse to believe it. So we need to bring insane asylums back. We need to call them, we need a new spin on them. Okay. We need a new spin on them and they need to be, oh, hang on. I will internal monologue an idea. Give me 10 seconds. I need the pressure. I can't do this. It's just normal every day. We need a little pressure to do this. Oh. Hang on, let's see if I can count down sound. So the price is right. No, that's the losing one. Ooh, okay, it's internet. They're unhinged. An unhinged asylum. No, hang on. An internet brain rot asylum. You've lost the plot asylums. Arkham Asylum. We need to call them Arkham Asylums. I would also deal with brain rot asylums. Would also be acceptable.
Destiny encouraging this community of like retards to go after them. So
wait, that was even more retarded than what I predicted. So if you dox somebody and they have children, that counts as that's the equivalent action of A-logging their minor children? Hold on, I'm trying. The people I've doxed, who even has kids? Jesse Eagle doesn't have kids. I don't think anything about Doobie. Not that I've ever doxed anybody, but theoretically, if I were to, who the fuck has kids that I've been accused of doxing? Batman? Oh, esports Batman. Does esports Batman have children? Doobie has kids. I've never
Robin's
doxed Doobie
not
before.
his
I don't know
kid.
anything about Doobie, unfortunately, in a video game.
I don't think there's much wiggle room there, to be honest with you. I don't agree with it. I think it's all bad. But if that's a standard, then that's a standard.
So just to be clear, you think that it is
But if
justified
that's
for
a
the person I just talked
standard,
to
that's a
go after
standard.
this
You're the
Destiny
one-
children because Destiny.
Another thing is just because there's a society standard for something doesn't mean you need to follow it. Because it could be society's standard for something is fucking trash. It's fucking garbage. Let's take, for example, the standard of not letting people zipper merge when, traffic's heavy and the fucking lane is closed. The standard, it seems to be, for most part of society, is we just, it's your turn, you just go and fuck everybody else. But I think that's a garbage standard, and I think the standard should be, hey, let's actually let people in appropriately into these spaces. So, I would do things like letting people in when I have an opportunity to, when I've, in that, take one, go one, take one, go one, take one, go one kind of pattern. If the standard seems to be that nobody fucking follows that shit, you should rise above that fucking standard. Just because the standard is like, well, other people dox other people, so therefore I'm going to do it too. Like, what a lowbrow way for you to exist. And what you're basically, putting out there for everybody else is you're a fucking sheep and you're just going to do what everybody else does. And in which place, go join a fucking cult, because that's what that is. That's cult fucking thinking, and eventually you're going to end up there anyways.
has gone after other people who have children.
Big league, major league, children. Uh-oh.
No, I think you're misunderstanding. So
please.
I think if he's saying, hey, I'm going to use Destiny Standard, and Destiny Standard is, I'm going to put entire families at risk because somebody criticized me on the internet, well then, I don't understand why this.
Why are you using somebody else's take? Can you not think for yourself?
I wouldn't do it. I don't agree with any of it, to be clear. But if he's saying, hey, I'm just going to do what Destiny does,
you don't agree with it, but you're going to do it anyways? The fuck? That's even worse. That's even worse. If you don't agree with something and you know it's bad and you're going to do it anyways, you're worse. You're worse in that scenario than the person that thinks it's all right and is going to do it. Because I would expect the person to do it. They think it's okay. But if you're like, no, I think it's pretty bad, we shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it anyways, fuck you. You're 10 times worse than the other person.
Okay, so there is a difference between going after someone who has children and then going after that person might put that person's children at risk, right? Might or might not.
No, I think it does.
I'll just grant you it does for the purposes of the discussion. But there's a difference.
I'm so sorry. I need a single name. Does esports Batman have kids? That's the only thing I can think of. If he does, I'm not aware of that. But also, if you're going to present your credentialed opinion on a thing that is directly within the purview of your credentials, I 1,000,000,000% stand by. Your identity should absolutely be attached to that. If esports Batman is going to walk around letting the whole internet know that they are a lawyer, and then they're going to give unfettered commentary about a legal case, I mean, that's your credentialing yourself. I think your identity is worth knowing there. 100%.
That and going after someone's kids directly. You understand that, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
As far
One
as I
is
know,
significantly, in my opinion, significantly worse and more condemnable than the other because of the direct versus indirect nature.
Yeah, if he'd actually followed through with doxing Nathan or whatever, and I think, like, there have been times where Nathan's come up in voice channels and I just said I don't feel comfortable talking about him or whatever, right? So I just don't feel comfortable even getting into whatever drama is there with Nathan, right? He's a young guy.
I mean, yeah, but to be clear, you brought this up, right? Like that's
yeah, well, no. We're talking about it because the other guy brought it up and you were talking about it with him. So don't act like I just brought it up. But to be clear, I don't agree with going after Nathan. And if the guy has actually gone after Nathan and doxed him or done anything like this, I would say that's much worse than what Destiny's done. So far as I know, he hasn't. And I don't know this guy. I don't know what beef you have with him. I just jumped onto the stream randomly, right? So far as I know, he hasn't done that. You didn't mention him doing this. He made a threat. So far as I know, he hasn't followed through with it. But Destiny's actually followed through with this threats and dox people and put people at risk. So I think that behavior is worse than just a threat.
What are we talking about right now?
So that's kind of what I meant by that. I don't mean it's good. I wouldn't do it. I don't support doing it. But I think if he's saying I'm going to go by Destiny standard, well, that seems to be the standard.
What?
So anyway, the next thing is
I'm gonna love doing that. I'm just gonna do things that are horrible, and I'll be like, well, it's it's so and so standard. Well, killing people, that's not bad. Fucking Stalin had a fucking standard where he just killed anybody that disagreed with him. So I think that's a pretty fair standard. I'm just gonna adopt that standard. People would look at you like you're crazy, rightfully so. But no, and this is what I mean that we need. Because when you spend too much time on the internet and you think that this is how people, engage in real life, like you've lost the plot. You need to go to the brain rot asylum. That should be wild. And that does get rid of it, even if I've put it over already. Okay, that's okay.
So The dishonest thing is going to take us way back, way back. Okay, but I wanted to talk to you first about I was curious about your free speech liberalism thing, because you said that he demonstrated that he didn't support free speech and he was not a liberal.
Yes.
But I did not. Can you like flesh out like what you meant by that? Because it didn't really make sense to me.
Certainly. So
Oh no, if it's not there, it doesn't
this
take
goes
it.
back to the Nathan thing, though, right? He says that because of Nathan's comments, that he's going to people's employers and ensuring because of his speech that he is going to be punished for his speech by going to the people's employers and making sure he's not hired. That is antithetical to the idea behind free speech. Do you disagree?
Yeah.
How is it? So is it because he's a kid, or is it because?
I think you should be able to say things that you want to say and it not have to affect your real life as long as you're not doing actions against it. I think I think going against people what they're saying when there's no actions behind it is against free speech. Well, I don't think so. How in the fuck do you figure not? How the fuck would you think that being like, oh, you engaged in some speech without action? Ha! Suffer some consequences, bitch. Is like, well, that I don't know, man. That would kind of seem like it goes against free speech, but okay, that's a bold fucking stance to take.
If he was like 80 years old, right? If Nathan was 80 years old and you decided, hey, this person said something I didn't like, and I'm going to try to ensure that there are secondary sanctions put on this guy, right? Or not secondary sanctions, but there are sanctions put on this guy, right? And making sure he's never going to hold a job again because I don't like what he said. That is antithetical to free speech.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because like the typical line you hear from the left and the right
What are you confused
about
on?
free speech is freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences.
Okay,
Right? So
there
as
are
long as they're not
different types of
government-imposed consequences, if these are like social consequences, i.e. an employer doesn't want to hire you because you were saying crazy shit online, I don't see how that is contradictory to like free speech.
Because when you are seeking to enforce consequences and saying, not only am I going to let like society decide for themselves on what should happen.
And another big thing is just because you like, it could be that you've actually said something that's super fucking tame, but if you as an employer are getting emails and those people are being, because you don't, first off, why the fuck would you want random people going about contacting employers of any means? That's fucking weird upon itself. But then secondly, weird is like, how are you trusting that the people that you know have biases against the people that you're reporting on are giving fair and accurate responses or characterizations of what is being said? Because for me, I'd be incredibly wary and dubious that the people that are contacting these employers are giving fair and balanced takes about what is going on. My guess is that if anything, it's probably heavily fucking biased and probably in ways that if you were to talk about it in a different way wouldn't seem as fucking yikesy, because that seems to be the fucking trend on the internet, is that shit that really shouldn't be, blowing up or things like that often does. I just wouldn't trust I wouldn't trust people that are already going to these unhinged levels to give fair and balanced takes upon what's being actually said. I just wouldn't.
But I'm going to seek to impose these consequences on someone, right? I think that is antithetical free speech. Again, specifically, not for his actions, but for his speech, for his ideas, for the things he has said.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
I don't like.
So for example, so like if I were on the internet, like imagine I'm some random guy, I'm on the internet,
You are some random
and I'm
guy, you are on the
harassing
internet.
women online, sluts and cunts or whatever, fucking with them, making AI revenge porn of them and posting revenge fuck with them. Like, I think it'd be reasonable to track me down, and if I have an employer, to let them know what I've been doing. Right, so that there's some kind of consequence, because what I'm doing is not legal.
I love how I like how that's the comparison.
It's not illegal at that point, right? So to impose some kind of consequence, given that there's no legal recourse, I think it does make sense to say, hey, just so you know, guys, this person that you are family with or whatever is doing this crazy shit, which is a justification that Destiny uses to go after some of the people that he goes after, right? I think most of his justification is bullshit, to be clear, but that's justification, right? These people are doing crazy things, so I'm going to dox them. And that's usually the justification when somebody gets doxxed, right? It's like, hey, this person's doing terrible things, they're like a groomer or something, so everybody should know who they are.
Groomer, okay.
I think that makes sense. Like that is reasonable to me.
It might be reasonable to you, but it is not. We're not talking about like doxing and harassment. We're talking about
A-logging.
say you said, hey, I don't like
into
women.
the future.
I think women are yucky and gross, and I think they're less than men. You haven't harassed anyone, you haven't sexually assaulted anyone or anything like that, but this is an idea you have. And I go to your employers and I try to get you fired because you said that. Do you think what I'm doing is helping free speech or hurting free?
Oh, I'm gonna take a guess. My guess was Dewey would say it's helping free speech because it's holding people accountable. But I mean, the thing is like, there's gonna be people. Not to say they necessarily hold, but I've definitely come across people that are like, yeah, men are just better than women. And I just don't think I'd ever look at somebody and be like, wow, you don't get to, like, you shouldn't have a job anymore. I should be able to make your life infinitely harder for trying to get a job. Like, what do you think that's going to do? If anything, no offense, if I was holding that view and somebody did that, it would probably make me double down in my views, because I would just assume a woman did it. I mean, really, at that point, all you're doing is re-entrenching their views that if you hold these views, people are going to hate you. But I'm not going to give up the view. It isn't all of a sudden like, oh shit, fuck, there's the light. I can fucking finally see it. I've lost my job. If I just didn't lose my job, I would think women are fucking equal. Like, no, like, what if, like, what the fuck? You're not helping anything. If anything, you're probably just making shit fucking worse for everybody, because you're just re-entrenching those views of that fucking person.
I think it's helping, actually.
I knew it. Fucking called it.
Neutral?
Oh, neutral, of course.
They're kind of disconnected from each other.
Oh, this is... I understand why Wick asked the question. I really do. But the reality is, what was it? Bad people don't see themselves as bad people, right? So if Doobie already sees of what he's doing as righteous, if you give him an example of the thing he's already fucking doing, of course he's gonna say it's fucking righteous and the good thing to do. He's doing it. Nobody, like, generally, most people, unless you're fucking a psychopath or fucking, you know, shit like that, generally, you don't see yourself as doing bad things. Even if they're bad things, you see them as you're doing something good for a reason. There's a reason behind it, and usually the reason you're giving to yourself is a good reason. So it's funny. Like, I understand, have to ask the question. It's just fleshing out the thing. But realistically, at the end of the day, that was always going to be the fucking answer.
Like, so if
to the
I say a
question.
thing and you disagree enough with what I say that you want people around me to know I said this thing, I mean, that's your free speech, right? That you have the freedom to express this thing.
But with the intent of getting them fired from their jobs or
Punishment,
making sure
yeah.
that they're not employed.
Yeah, I think that's totally within.
What
the
about getting them arrested?
If they did something illegal. But I think you'd be crossing out of the free speech line there.
Why does the government being involved?
Why? What makes the difference?
Because if they've done something that would get them arrested, they're probably out of the bounds of freedom of expression.
What? No. What?
Right? They've probably actually harmed someone in some way. Because in the United States right now, for the most part, we still do have freedom of expression, right? So if the government is involved and is arresting somebody for a thing, they probably cross that line.
Say
Come on,
someone
Wick, fucking
saw
nail
that
'em.
a student visa holder had made a op-ed that was critical of Israel, and they said, you know what? I'm going to report this to the government and to try to get their student visa to be taken away so that they get deported. Would that be pro-free speech, anti-free speech, neutral free speech?
I think if the government has crossed the line into punishing that sort of behavior, I think the government itself is enacting anti-free speech.
So individual people are allowed to make those really awkward choices in punishing people, but the government, made out of who again? That part doesn't matter. They're allowed to be, they're not allowed to be involved in the destruction of free speech. I understand.
So this is happening. This is going now, right?
I know. Yes.
Yes.
So I agree that our government is not staying within the Constitution boundaries, I think.
Okay, but
that's pretty far from. But that's pretty far from like. Go ahead.
More than that, if they are being critical and antithetical to the concept of free speech. So it's not just the law here. It's not just a legal thing. It's the idea of being able to speak your mind and not having society impose super amounts of consequences on you, right? Because you've simply spoken your mind, right? That is
but wait, there are plenty of things. There are plenty of things you could say that society should impose consequences on you for. So, for example, if I were advocating just murder all white people or whatever, there should be a social consequence for that, right? So, it would be weird to say that trying to enforce a social consequence or encourage a social consequence is anti-free speech in some way.
It is though, because you're trying.
It is. That's the unfortunate thing about freedoms is like the thing that we have to sit in the uncomfortable nature of is freedom breeds chaos. Chaos breeds bad things, but you can't. If you want the freedom, you need to deal with the chaos. And if you want chaos, you got to give freedom. Because that is just, humans are chaotic, shadowy little creatures like I've discussed before, that if you're going to give them the ability and the freedom to do things, there's going to be chaos. And now you can construct ways of having consequences for the things that people say, but realistically, I'd hate to say it, it is... Oh, did I just break it? No. Okay, we're good. You're bordering on... and bring up George Orwell, 1984. There's a thing called thought crimes, right? And in the crime is thinking itself is the crime, right? Where you're encroaching on that line when we talk about being guilty of a crime for saying something, right? It is a lot different to say we should Minecraft all white people than it is to say we should Minecraft all white people, and then you join a group that is all about that. That is a huge, you might not see it, it might not feel like it, that is a huge distinguishing factor between thinking and saying something versus thinking, saying, and participating in an action based upon those thoughts, because that is where I would say that your right to free speech ends, is when you move from the thought, the speech, into the actions. And that is the thing, because realistically, at the end of the day, if you have, like, one thing I always try to impress upon my son is, if you are having thoughts that are upsetting you, that are causing you harm, I want you to discuss them. I don't want you to keep those inside. Unfortunately, a lot of it is the same for any other speech or any idea that we circulate kind of through society. When you ban certain things or talking about certain things, there is a certain, and trust me, this is from somebody that there is a lot of ideologies and a lot of things that people think that I would love to do away with, because I think there are fucking harms on society. But the realistically is, the second you ban it, it just moves underground and just festers. It becomes a fucking sore, right? You have to deal with the sore. You can't just layer it under 1,000 bandages and hope that the body's going to look after it when you have a fucking gangrene infection. You got to deal with it.
I don't mind. I don't like Wick's argument here, but Wick might be more of a, I hate free speech. No, I'm just kidding. Wick might be more on the extreme side of this than I am. But the crazy thing isn't trying to, isn't like enforcing free speech or reporting somebody for harassing somebody or making threats or whatever. It's the idea that you would A-log somebody who's 14 with the threat of like turning it in at a later date.
Because that's great. 14, they're so young. I don't remember if people know, like, even at 18, what it's like to be 14. Like, your whole 4 years time, your whole outlook, your whole being could fucking radically be altered, right? For the next, and even from 18 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, like, these are every year of your life. You could become drastically a different person till the day you're fucking dead. The idea that you, when you're developing a personality, when you're in this state of like, kind of, you're wandering through the halls of the abyss trying to find a mirror that reflects who you are, that somebody would come along and think to themselves, oh, I don't like the fact that you're searching through the void for yourself. I am going to cage and trap you and lock you in as the person for the rest of your life that you are now. It's unfathomable to me that somebody would look at a 14-year-old and go, I have to ensure that you never get a job for the rest of your life because somehow I only see you as this 14-year-old and you are locked in place in the fucking abyss. And there is never going to be a time where you are going to change and find a different mirror or have a different self-reflection or have a different construct of yourself. That to me, and once again, this is the mental unhingedness that comes with being on the internet, where you only think in short little fucking bursts. And that's just not the case with people. They are constantly evolving. They are constantly changing. And anybody at any point can spend the time to become something that they want to be at a later fucking date. We are not static. We are fluid creatures that will change shape constantly through our fucking lives.
If they get another job 20 years later, like we're at like a different thing here now, right? Like there's like a different type of thing that we're talking about.
Yes, it's
and
called
Dewey's
mentally
managed to
unwell.
pull this back into a way more abstracted argument. That's not really what was being talked about.
If you are critical of Palestine, or critical of Israel, I should say, and because you're critical of Israel, and I disagree with you being critical of Israel, I make sure to try to get you fired from all of your jobs to make sure that you're never employed again. That would be antithetical to free speech. Would be trying to punish you and impose the social consequences on you because we've disagreed with each other on a concept.
Yeah, I disagree with that. So I think it's a bad thing to do. But I think while all that person is doing, this person who I disagree with, and I know this already happens, of course. People get like smeared as like an anti-Semite or whatever. But I think all that person is doing is using their freedom of expression to encourage a consequence for behavior that they dislike.
But they are doing
that is
so
within the boundaries of free speech, and I understand they're doing to try to suppress a type of expression.
Yes, they're trying to suppress a type of expression.
Yeah, but they're trying to suppress this type of expression with themselves being the arbiter of that expression. Like, who the fuck are you to think that you get to be the expression police just because you're somebody on the internet and you're able to log things and report people to other people? That's crazy to me that you think that you have so much entitlement to our society. That's fucking wild.
Yes, that is anti-free speech.
Yeah, but that is something. No, because that is something you can do with your expression. So if, like I said, if you're saying a thing that I disagree with, and I think you should stop saying this thing, I can express my belief that you shouldn't be able to say that thing. And people
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about reporting them to their employer or
you're talking about taking a step
like
further
in the future.
Yeah,
getting better. This is boring.
This afterwards, and I found that actually a lot of the videos that you played were this Maccabi soccer club, this Israeli soccer club, beating up Arabs because they were beating Arab taxi drivers in Belgium for like at least a week before that. And that's why this like actually set off was they were harassing the locals, attacking Arabs in the city, which is something that.
Oh wait, Ace. Oh wait, is this one of your A-loggers? Gawk 2000, are you willing to DM me by chance? My spies are letting me know Wick TV has fled to his hug box on his Discord instead of engaging anymore. Wherever this Ace guy is or the Gawk 2000, listen, if you want to come on stream and chat, make a tweet at me and I'll join streams. I'll drag him up.
Do it.
And wherever the soccer club goes.
That's the other thing. If you have the balls to fucking dox somebody and contact their employers, but you don't have the balls to go speak to the person you're fucking doxing, you're a coward. No way, no two ways about it. You're an absolute fucking coward. And you should be ridiculed as such.
There tend to be stories of them attacking Arabs and whatnot that they find because they're known to be extremely racist.
Marsh top 6, I'm sure.
So racist actually that they've actually been banned from going to different soccer events, right, in different countries because they attack the locals because they're very aggressively racist. So the soccer club, which is known to be racist and to attack people, there's videos of them attacking people. You play these videos, and you claim
you apparently blocked the Gawk guy. You can still tweet at me.
It was actually Arabs attacking a Jewish guy. It was actually okay. The video that you played.
I don't remember the specific video I played, but there is a group chat that they had where the Arabs, these various people, were planning to ambush the Israeli soccer team, and we have that on record. And I don't know if
where does Doobie live? How white is Doobie? I will say I don't think I feel it anymore, but back when I first started getting into the Israel-Palestine stuff, saying Arab or Arabs actually did feel kind of not good. Like it felt a little bit racist. I'm more comfortable.
Yeah, because if you're gonna go, you gotta go full in and call them to Arabs. Okay, that's what you just go. If you're gonna lean into the racism, you just better lean into it full tilt. Don't half-ass that shit. Okay, not here in fucking America. Okay, you use the right terminology.
Now, obviously, having more versed in the region, it's just a normal thing that people say. But at least in the United States, saying Arabs, it's kind of a weird thing. That was like usually heavily associated with anti-Arab or Islamophobic or whatever people post 9/11. But it was just funny because Doobie just heard Wick there say Arabs, and he was like, Arabs? That's neat. You're responding to these idiots in a serious tone. These are not serious people. I have to respond, though, so that people know the responses because Hassan repeats this stuff and it shows up everywhere. Sometimes, though, people... So, like, the last time... I think Taylor Lorenz retweeted Hassan trying to claim I was outed as a pedophile and fucking poor docs or whatever. Like, there were a lot of people under those tweets that had, like, the correct response to that, which was good. So, unfortunately, I would rather not have to, but until this court case is over and I can just point people to a dismissal or I guess a trial win, I kind of have to engage with it to some extent because these guys are engaging everywhere. What is the timeline for getting a dismissal? Don't ask me for any timeline on anything. What is I think the absolute max is, am I making this up or did Kafka say this, that you have 180 days for the court has to rule on a motion within 180 days? Or was it that Judge Torres had never gone more than 180 days without ruling on something? So is that our hypothetical timeline?
180
I know we've already
days.
filed a few 90-day notices. Like I said, I don't know. Unless he's writing up like the sickest dismissal in the universe, technically, because it sounds so crazy to say now for how long this has been dragged out. I used to be able to say, at the latest it's mid-May, I think is the trial date. So I guess that's the latest it could go. But the problem is I don't think we'll go to trial before we've done party depositions. And discovery closed in December with their side filing an extension for discovery. And that hasn't been ruled on yet for 4 months. So if they extend discovery for us to do party depositions, I feel like that has the chance to push back the trial 6 months. I don't know. I don't know what the timeline would be on that because I don't know. It just feels, I don't know. I have no idea. But we're still waiting on all of that because technically, I think it was December 16th was the day that discovery was closed and neither me nor Pixie have been deposed yet. So we'll see, I guess. What's the likelihood you put on a trial? What do you mean put on a trial? Like stream it? It's federal court, so I can't. What's the likelihood of it going to trial? I don't know. My priors on that have only gotten... Well, priors or posters, I guess, because I'm updating, have only gotten like better in terms of I feel like the chances of them making it to trial are less and less, unless there's like a meta for judges that might be a thing that I don't know. So, for instance, let's say that you're like 1 month away from trial. If you go through a trial, now I'm repeating stuff for her because I don't know how true this is, but supposedly judges don't like being appealed. Judges don't like their decisions being appealed. So if you're like a month out from trial anyway, rather than write a summary motion or rather than writing an approval for summary judgment or issuing summary judgment to either party, a judge might just say, well, fuck it, let's just go to trial anyway because that's a lot less likely to get overturned on appeal. But I don't know if that's like part of a judge's thought process or not. I've read different things on that. I don't know. But in terms of like on the merits, I feel like their response to my motion to dismiss and their response to my motion for summary judgment, I feel like both of those responses are incredibly bad because they don't include anything to establish why the court should even be able to hear the case. Instead, they kind of like nitpick at my evidence. And I think maybe for the motion to dismiss, maybe that's okay. But for the motion for summary judgment, I feel like you got to throw something in there. Otherwise, if the judge is looking at it and he's trying to figure out, well, why the fuck should this even be heard in federal court? And they are literally saying, well, his evidence is not that great. I don't know if their MSJ response is the appropriate venue to raise those complaints. But I don't know. Remember, for all the talk about spoliation and me tampering with evidence and hiding stuff, for all of that talk, they never filed a single motion on any of it. They never accused us of any of it. They didn't have no motions to compel, nothing for looking for adverse rulings or anything else. Like, Kafka Esquire, so pro question. Destiny talks about extending discovery, but the 12b6 hasn't been decided yet, which is supposed to be before discovery. I think it was a 12b1 because it was for subject matter jurisdiction. The motion to dismiss is usually part of the pleading stage. The reason why we filed ours so late is because in the complaint, Pixie said that there were like 15 women that had evidence of improper behavior. Now that turned into 0, but the at the time, I don't think there's no way we went on a dismissal. Why pay for the motion to dismiss? But the judge invited us to file a motion to dismiss after we raised the subject matter jurisdiction question at an evidentiary hearing related to the preliminary injunction. And his ruling on the PI, when he shut down the opposing counsel's arguments, he invited us to file a motion to dismiss. So we filed it then. This would have been back in September, August, September, I think.
Like that.
I also think it's kind of crazy that we sanctioned them, and their response to our sanctions was to sanction us. Because we told them to correct the filings on the that I was communicating with a minor or whatever, because now that they dragged this poor girl out to deposition because Joan and Pixie were encouraging Saba to harass her and her family in real life to get her to comply to come out to do the deposition, and we find out that I've never spoken to her before. Jeez. They don't want to amend their prior filings because they were ass paying that
poor, like, that's fucked up in itself. You're fucking harassing somebody's daughter, to come and be a part of your court case when you've basically made falsifications with them, and then you harass them to come and like basically lie on your behalf. Like that's some psychotic shit right there. You need to lock those motherfuckers up because you are not a normal human being. Normal human beings don't act like that. That's beyond fucking reproach. That's fucking disgusting. Get out of the way, self. There we go.
Position went really bad for them, and they refused, and we said, well, if you don't, we're going to file a sanction against you, Rule 11. And then when we did that, because they had 3 weeks to update it, they didn't. They filed sanctions against us for sanctioning them. They filed Rule 11 against us for Rule 11 them. I was like, okay, good one. Wait, Doobie's the one saying it's not anti-free speech. Okay, I was curious if Doobie would think it's anti-free speech if he's donating to streamers to not have me on their stream. But who knows?
The streams are happening. I just don't want.
You've donated before.
Oh, hang on, I have winches going on right now.
When you said that I'm exaggerating, and then I pull up a quote of you saying the exact thing that I claimed that you said. Okay.
Wick, this was over a year ago, and we've had multiple conversations about this since then, where I've clarified to you.
You can say you've changed your mind, and that's fine.
But you know this, Wick. You know that I'm not doing that.
You don't donate to me as much as you used to.
Ooh.
Which is fine.
It's okay. Lover's quarrel. Lover's quarrel.
Fair enough. But when I say that, hey, you said a thing, I noticed a change in your behavior, and then I pull up that thing that you said, and you actually said it, and I note the change in behavior, which you also note too, which you say is a different reason
that's for Cole.
How is that me exaggerating or lying?
Okay, because Wick, like I said, you're pulling up something from January of 2025 when you and I have had multiple conversations about this since then, where I've clarified to you, and I think my behavior has shown that it's not that I pull financial support, quote unquote. I just don't watch when Destiny's on. I told you that. Yeah, get Destiny on. I'm probably not gonna watch. You have other people on.
Hey, there it is.
No big deal. Like, that's not me.
I said you said it then. You said that thing.
Okay, but but now you're being dishonest. You're being dishonest again. Because you're pretending.
By the way, that's more evidence for them. Hey, not very nice, buddy. That's more evidence for them trying to like influence who talks to who or whatever on streams than they've ever presented it against me in the entirety of their obsessive hate shit against me, by the way. Could you imagine if I ever had some kind of standard like that? Like, oh, like I just stopped going on this guy's panels, or I stopped talking to this guy, or I stopped doing this thing because if I had any kind of statement like that, like, oh, well, I stopped going on your shows because of for literally for anything.
X, Y,
I feel like I
Z.
get accused of trying to manipulate all these people behind the scenes so much more, and they never even have evidence of it. And this guy just says it publicly.
You keep claiming. This is why I don't. Look, this is the problem I have. And
Wick, how do you not see how this is dishonest, Wick?
Right? I'm going to have to double check every claim you've made today, right? Is because you continually misrepresent
Wick,
things.
how do you not see how this is dishonest? So
because
I said a thing.
You said a thing.
Not even to you. Hold on.
I claim you said that thing.
Hold on.
It turns out you said that thing. You have noted that there's been a change in your behavior, right? You've agreed to that.
I also a thing about lying do be initially said. When, I feel like when people give multiple sufficient explanations, so something is necessary, you need it to get something off the ground. It's sufficient when it's enough to satisfy the condition completely, right? So let's say that I were to cut somebody's head off, right, to kill them. You might say that that's like, would you say necessary and sufficient there? That would be sufficient for it for sure, right? But necessary, well, hold on, wait. That's not maybe the best example. Let's say we're talking about keeping somebody alive, right? They need to drink water. That's necessary for them to survive. But it's not sufficient, right? You need food as well. So
What?
food and water.
I need
these
food?
are necessary things
That's
to survive.
stupid.
Is it sufficient? I mean,
Eating's
you
for
need oxygen too, right?
losers.
But like necessary and
I'll survive
sufficient
on
are for
rage
like two
alone.
separate things. I think that when somebody is giving an argument and they provide you two different sufficient rationalizations of what they've done, in my mind, I think that's always a lie. Sorry, that was really convoluted, but so explaining this more concretely, he said, or using what he just said, he said that the reason why I stopped watching you as much was because I retired. Like, assuming that's true,
Joke's on
that's
you.
a fair
I'm
thing to
always
say,
tired.
right? Oh, okay, you retired. Like, that's why you don't watch as much.
Cool.
But then afterwards, he says, I said that I wouldn't watch you, as much or whatever because you have Destiny on your panel sometimes or whatever. Well, wait, why would you even have to offer up that second explanation if the retirement explanation was true, right? You would just say that. You would just say that, well, it was because I was retired. That was it. But the fact that you're like jumping to offer additional explanations when that other one would make complete sense on its own, that's always like an indicator in my mind that somebody's lying, is when they start offering up multiple explanations when just one would fully explain the thing.
Yeah.
It's because I think they feel either guilty in their mind or they feel like they've been called out or it's not believable or something. There's something psychologically happening.
Oh, what's psychologically happening is it's almost like reinforcing barriers, right? It's like, oh, I battered up this window in the house. I'm safe from criticism. Oh, but I'd be extra doubly safe if I go, batten up that window as well. And then, oh shit, you know what? Actually, the third window over there, because that could be where somebody gets in and knocks down my argument. I'm gonna go batten up that window over there. And then what you're doing is, he's right. It's it's necessary but not sufficient. But what he's doing is, because if I knock down one piece of your argument and that's not true, and then I go for the second one, well, at least I have the third one. Well, at least I have the fourth one. Well, at least I have the fifth one, right? When realistically, the underlying reason that he's not watching probably Wick as much is he's frustrated that Wick has Destiny on and doesn't treat him with the same level of unhinged behavior that Doobie is. Let's face it, that is probably the real reason that he's not watching as much.
With you.
You can claim that, but I am going on what you've said and what you've done.
This is ridiculous. You know this is ridiculous, right? So you're saying in January 2025. I wasn't even talking to you, by the way. I was talking to somebody else in chat in your server. Anybody can
but
pull up
you understand this is talking about me, and it was in my server where I can see it.
Hold on. No, it wasn't just about you. Jesus. That was about anybody who was still platforming Destiny at the time.
I don't think you specifically mentioned me.
Anybody who was platforming Destiny at the time.
Yep.
This is a guy who donates thousands of dollars to streamers. I think in that big debate I had with Pisco, I think he donated, somebody said $1,000 over the course of that debate to Pisco. So he's not going to donate to streamers because he's not going to be watching them while on their stream. Okay.
Also, you have $1,000 to blow on donos to a streamer? Holy shit. Either you're ready to fuck up your financial health just to get the fucking dono questions in, or you're somebody who's rolling around in more resources than they possibly need, and holy shit, how are you not doing more with it? $1,000? $1,000 and one streamer for a night or one conversation with somebody? That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild. That's wild.
Interesting.
Yeah, other than a couple donuts to Wick, but I wasn't talking just about you, right? I was talking about everybody in the space.
And after you said, but that was primarily to see if Wick would read them, and then you do the emoji with the shrug. That implies, hold on, is that not implying that you have pulled financial support to me?
Yes,
to some degree.
Obviously.
Again, you and I have had multiple conversations since then about specifically this, and you know that the conversations that we've had is not that I'm pulling for support or whatever. It's me saying, if you have Destiny on, I'm probably not going to watch. If he's not on, I'll watch and I'll donate now and then. This is very different from you're like.
It's completely different, guys. That's totally different. Meanwhile, when I explicitly say to Lav, hey, I know we've hooked up in the past, but like, you're always allowed on my stream. Like, we don't ever have to do any kind of sexual thing again in the future. Right? When I explicitly, because that is a message I explicitly sent her. Mr. Girl and Lav's explanation for that was Destiny just says these things in order to have plausible deniability for when he gets called out in the future. Kings.
Months before that, you said another thing. Well, apparently my mind is changing. You're aware my mind has changed since then, because my behavior has changed. And again, we've had the conversation multiple times. So saying that I threatened to pull support, I've said I'm going to pull support, ignoring everything that happened after that, months and months of shit after that,
Oh,
is
and you make
ridiculous.
steel
May-
beams,
may I
trying
just
to make
rewind the tape
plates.
a little bit and remind you of the context in which I made that statement? Is when I had that ski guy on, and I asked him a direct question: do I have a financial incentive in order to not platform Destiny? Right? And my evidence for that, or one portion of evidence for that, is that by platforming him more, right, or having him on still, that I am
Oh,
getting
what's up,
less
little
money
kitty?
than I would have from other sources.
No,
And I used you as an
get out of
example.
here.
And I said accurately that you said that you would not watch me when Destiny was on, and you can't give me money
Where's
for
the
not
lie?
watching me. I guess you could technically, but you understand it. That wouldn't
Is
happen.
Lav still on the Mr. Girl train? She probably is a bit ironically, but everything Lav does now is kind of ironic because I think she realizes her shit is all completely fucked.
No,
But they're all
get out of here,
okay with their
sad
shit
kitty.
being completely fucked. I barely have a theory of mind for any of these people.
And two, that you said you pulled financial support because of it. Both of those things were true.
Okay, wait, this is what I mean when I say that you're dishonest. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Because, like we just went over, you and I have had multiple conversations since then.
Get
where I
out of
made it
here,
clear
little
that
kitty.
and obviously, I haven't pulled financial support because I've donated to you a fuck ton since then, right? In fact, I think I've donated to you
No.
more since then, since like before that made it come, because Tally was on, and when you had Tally on, I fucking
Wait. Then why not just say that? Like, why now we have a new
No, it's a new
argument that
thing.
contradicts everything that was said before. Before he said he'd retired, and that's why he didn't have time to watch. Then he said, well, if Destiny's been on more, it means I'm probably not going to donate. But I have been on.
If I put a
But now he
bumper-
says, actually, I've donated more than I ever had in the past over the past year. Then what were the other things that you said? Hello?
donate all the time just a shit talker. Right?
Okay, so to be clear, earlier in this conversation,
Oh
we
shit!
just had,
Is Wick about to
you
identify
admitted
this?
that you donated less because you're busy and you don't
Yep.
watch as much.
No, that's not what I said.
That is what
Look,
he
I
said.
You said that I've donated less. I said that I'm watching less because I'm busy.
Okay.
So if I've donated less, that's why.
Okay, but yes,
but-
you didn't
but Wick,
specifically say I
one
donated
second,
less
one
because I'm
second.
busy. But after I say that comment, you say I'm busy, so I watch less. This implies that these things are
Yes,
connected.
it does. Unless
At
you're being
least to
tricky.
me.
Obviously, if I'm not watching, I can't donate.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It has nothing to
Again,
do-
you
but
claim
it has
there's a
nothing to do-
different
but wait, it has
reason
nothing to
for that,
do-
which might be
it has
very,
nothing
very
to
well
do.
be true. But that
What are
doesn't
you doing?
make what I say
What are you doing?
dishonest
Wick.
or an exaggeration.
No, hold
I'm
on.
just
It's dishonest.
giving you what's actually happening.
Wick, again.
Wick.
It's dishonest
Wick.
because
Wiki.
you know that we've had
Wickaroo.
multiple conversations about this specific.
Also,
Whoa, what are you
this
doing,
is the
thick kitty?
the abuser tactic. When somebody says your name, I think you can red flag anybody in your real life for this. When somebody uses your name a lot when they talk to you, that's always an abuser tactic. Okay, be careful. Oh no.
thing
Okay.
since January 2025, where I've made my
Unfortunately.
stance clear to you,
At least it's
which is not that I'm not going to donate. Or
it's in the little ways, especially in the context of a conversation when there's no other, when it's just you, because realistically these conversations are between you and the person you're chatting with, and chat is just, it should be for the most part just an observer. They can chat, they can do their own thing, but it's not, when you're having these chats, it should be between you and the other person. And when you're doing it in real life and you're like, Torpy, listen to me. Torpy, I don't want you hitting me with your little sad paws. Torpy, don't do it. Torpy, I'm infantilizing my cat because my cat only has 2 brain cells because she's orange. Ow. And that's what's happening when you do it to a person, when you're constantly like, CC, listen to me. Wick, you need it. Wick, you're not listening right now. Wick. Like, you're doing that. You're doing it not from a place of trying to get that person's attention. You're doing it from a place of being a condescending asshole. Which is fine. I'm all for that at times, but yeah, it's not from a place of endearment or anything positive. It's definitely from a place of negativity.
whatever. It's just that I'm not going to watch when Destiny's on. That's it. And if you have somebody else on, other people on, I will watch, and I would probably donate if I feel like there's something I want to say.
I just, again, I think it's pretty clear. Which is, again, you're right. I'm not complaining.
Were you using Taylor's name a lot in y'all's conversations to mock her doing so? 100%. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm reflecting her abuser strategy. Yeah. Taylor. I think I started tweeting at her doing that too.
Think about this. You are free to donate or not donate. And
no, but I think you're intentionally like
hold on, I want to be clear.
reframing it.
I want to be clear. I do appreciate when you do donate to me. I do.
Don't let abusers own name usage. That's bullshit of a high order. No, there's no reason. Well, like, there are ways that you could use a person's name, like, exasperatedly or something, but when you use it to constantly disarm them or to constantly try to, I guess, like, lower the temperature just on their side, like, if I was arguing with Kafka and I'm like, oh my God, Kafka, this is so fucking stupid. Come on, Kafka, are you serious? Like, this is like a thing. But if Kafka's talking, I'm like, Kafka, when it's always at the beginning of a sentence like that, and it's always used to just try to, like, de-escalate just the other side, I feel like that is almost always followed up by some passive-aggressive fucking manipulator, psycho, abusive bullshit every fucking time, okay? It's a thing, okay? I've heard it. Every person that I hear talks like this always does it. Lab does it a lot. I think it's a It's a tactic, okay?
And I know we have differences of opinions on many things, but you're one of the few people who will consistently come on and actually have a conversation with me about the things we disagree with. And that is, again, commendable. It is something I support, and it's something I'd like to see continue to happen. That said, if you never donate another dime to me, that's your choice. I'm not going to complain about it. And that's fine. I would like for you to give me all your
It's
money.
funny how I mispronounced Kafka. What is it? Kafka? 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 Shut the fuck up.
But that's not going to happen either, right? But
Kafka? Is it Kafka?
right? Like, to
Kafka-Rooney.
claim that I'm
Ow,
dishonestly
stop it!
framing this when I'm simply
Why are you
quoting
so rude? Why are you
and
so
I'm
mean?
simply going through, again, what has changed as I've seen it in my behavior. Now, you could say I'm wrong. You could say, well, actually, no, I did it for another reason, and I had changed my mind, and I had relaxed on this a bit. That's fine, but
wait,
do not
you don't
apply,
need to do that,
do
though,
not
because I
imply,
didn't.
or do not say that I am lying or being dishonest or deceptive, because I am not.
Okay, but Wick, we don't even need to do this because
Wiki.
I didn't retire until until January this year, actually, early January of this year.
Sure.
So you had almost a
Are you retired? Because you're still doing these panels. So
LOS is now on your side after your convo. His last video was about how plaintiff is using a bad lawsuit to harm you. Who is LOS or LUS? Oh, the one lawyer guy? I mean, that doesn't help me because people are going to say that I just biased him or whatever, but
year or about a year after I made that comment to see that actually I was still watching, and still donating all the fucking time. It's just been the last few months I haven't been around too much, right? So you know that is not true. So if you're saying, oh, in the last few months, I mean, I'm not aware of anything that's changed in the last few months. You have Destiny on just like you did before. And my stance is the same. I'm just not going to watch when he's on. So nothing has changed there, right? So, and I think I've demonstrated throughout the year that I will donate when he's not on, like I usually do. Not because you don't have him on, but just when I find something that I want to say or I want to mock somebody. You know, if you have Tally on, I'll donate a lot. Please don't have her. She really fucking irritates me. But if you did have her on, I would donate a lot just as shit talker.
Well, I don't know what happened to Tali. I don't know why she decided to ghost me. I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
it's weird.
But it'd be like so. There's
unhinged
if I
people
could
like
find him in
this.
testing, he had to.
what's going on with Tally? Wait, it wasn't since our last debate, was it? I feel like I was kind of mean in that one, but
He had to kill her, for example. And I said, oh, Wick, well, you said he had to kill her. And I totally ignore everything that happened before that, everything that happened after that. And I just said, well, Wick, here you are saying he had to kill her. Like, that'd be extremely fucking dishonest, right?
It would depend.
That's what you're doing right now.
It would depend. If your claim was that I had said that and I said, no, I didn't, or I'm exaggerating, then I would be lying.
No, hold on. What it would be was, oh, Wick, well, you thought he had to kill her. And I would be like, oh, well, Wick, here you are saying he had to kill her. Right? Yeah, if that's true, please have her back on because it's super funny.
I'll ask and see what she has to say. See, here's the thing. I don't usually DM people if they stop DMing me. Does that make sense? Like if they stop contacting me or whatever, I just let them be. Right? I don't know why, but okay, if that's what you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's okay. I won't. But we'll see.
Okay.
But can we just?
So.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
why was Dubes comfortable coming on with you about your lawsuit but won't even watch you, or with only hundreds of streamers discussing your lawsuit at Snarkers? Probably because he hangs out with all the groups of people that do. I don't remember if Doobie was ever in those servers or not. I think Justical shut down his fucking... he had a room in this thing called the E-Rape room. I'm sure they have other servers. I'll bet my life on it that they do. But I'm pretty sure Doobie used to hang out in those places, or sometimes people make alts and hang out in those places, so he probably was just getting talking points from other people or whatever.
No, so I again disagree with the framing of it, but it's fine. If that's genuinely how you feel, and that's how you're reading it, fine, I'll accept it.
And just
despite
to my
the
audience,
massive...
this isn't the guy that hates me. That was the other guy.
No, I do hate Wick. Fuck you, Wick.
Yeah, maybe. Should I try this Ace guy on again? Just to...
I was actually going to say...
Okay. I told Wick that I will always talk to my haters, okay? Tali went to go to a libertarian show with that Ryan Mullally guy instead of Wick and just decided to ghost him instead of tell him rip. Okay.
Despite the massive ideological disagreements that we have, right? I do think you're an Israel sweeper, which is worse crime than being a Destiny sweeper, to be clear. Though he's pretty bad too. Despite the massive ideological differences we have, I do like you. I don't hate you.
Thank you.
I want you to be successful, so like don't...
My
not,
bro!
Like, trying to take you down or whatever the fuck.
My boy!
We just disagree about things.
Yeah, fuck.
Let's see if this Ace guy will troll me again with the...
Okay, should I drop out? I'll leave you guys to it.
Okay, bye-bye, dude.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Ace, here's your chance to redeem yourself. Can you get a W finally? We'll find out. Go ahead.
This guy's shooting me from.
You're muted on your end. You gonna rickroll me again? You wanna get me? Epic troll?
Hey, Grok. Hey, wait. So first off, I'd like to thank you for using Grok yourself to completely legitimize its use. So any attempt of you to complain about using it just makes you a complete hypocrite and a liar.
Yeah, clearly null and void.
So we have to blame
Fucking
for Grok?
loser. Yep.
No!
Do you understand that speaking someone's language, like if someone only speaks a certain
You
language and
speak
only
my
addresses
AI
things in a
language.
certain way, that it is no sin or crime or even legitimizing to speak in that same language?
No, that's
Wrong.
exactly what you argued against, though,
Yeah.
with regards to that one dude that
Idiot.
was basically doxing Destiny's kid because Destiny was doing it to everyone else. That's him.
No,
Whose kid am I doxing? And now we're not even talking doxing. We're talking A-logging, which is more fucked up than doxing. What the fuck?
speaking
No.
Destiny's language, so now you're lying about that.
Well,
So
you
thank
don't
for being a
understand the
hypocrite.
difference here between
Classic
speaking
Nick.
a language
Always
versus
lying.
going after children. Do you think it would be okay if your language? Do you think I meant that?
You know, Wick, I think it's very funny that a rape lover like you.
A rape?
seems to be, yeah.
Do
Jesus.
I love to rape or do I love to be raped?
Oh, you defend rape as an
Whoa,
you
what the
defend the concept
fuck?
of rape. Of
I defend
having
the
sex
concept
with
of rape.
people
How-
without
when?
their informed consent.
Sure. When?
Oh,
What
how
the
that-
have you
fuck?
defended the concept of rape? Go for it.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
you did that when you claimed that it wasn't real rape for a trans person to pretend to not be trans in order to sleep with people who would refuse consent had they known.
Shit, that's okay. Wow.
That's a
All
take.
right.
You did this during your debate with me, the last one. You know, the one that you like to
sure
pretend
you
that
have
you
a clip
won.
of that of me saying that that's okay?
Yeah, you claimed. I
Oh,
don't
buddy.
really know that it's
Not only does he have a clip, he has a fucking dossier, 400 filing cabinets full of all the fucking comments that you made, Wick. What a fool. You fucking asked, you're about to get fucking sent to the shadow realm, buddy.
rape, though, and that's you essentially downplaying and defending it by
Hold
claiming
on.
it's not real rape.
Do you think
And
I can?
by-
Do you think I can be against something
Without it
and
being
say,
rape?
well, while this is evil and wrong, it's not technically rape? Do you think that that's a position I could have that would be okay?
No.
But at that point, you're still claiming it's not real rape, and that's the problem. You're
Why
still
is that a problem?
downplaying it because you're claiming it's not real rape. You are therefore defending it by redefining it in such a way that it, in your mind, does not constitute rape.
Okay.
Wow.
Therefore, you are
Again,
defending
that's
that
not
particular
defending.
example of rape.
That's
Yes, you are.
just defining. When I
So by
say,
that, by that
no,
logic, no,
the
with
guy-
that logic,
hold on,
by
the
that
guy who got
logic-
killed, right, was
all right, wait,
stabbed
here's
to
the
death,
problem.
and you
Okay, do these guys talk about me? I don't care about
say
that.
he got hit by a
Logic
car.
essentially-
Hold
let's provide
on,
another
you
hypothetical.
recognize
wanna
that your
talk
little
about
hypothetical there didn't have the
me,
result you were looking for. It made you
No,
look
people-
stupid.
No, it makes you look like a fucking rapist, which you
Make you
probably
look
are.
like a fucking rapist because
Okay. Dave.
that deception is wrong, evil,
Damn, they spend
and bad. But not all forms of deception.
spend fucking hours on that. Holy fuck, people are crazy. Unfucking hinged. Unhinged. All right, listen here, RawTism Podcast Nation. We're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna go do some stuff. Gonna do some things. Gonna some stuff and things. Some things and stuff. And we will catch you on the flippity flop. If you like that, like this podcast, maybe you thought it was cringe. I don't care. Fucking hit that like, subscribe button.